do every Monday and Friday night, we have Stunthangar video hangouts, and we talk about model airplanes, we talk about competing, sport flying, what you've been doing lately, and we usually have a lot of fun on these nights. I also want to encourage you that if you're watching this as a replay, I do this every Monday and Friday night, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. Now, you might find that hard to believe, but really, sometimes the after party is even better than the live stream portion. Now, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Sunset Mary Foxtrot. That's Stunthangar, any way you want to spell it, with the ERAR, doesn't matter. Stunthangar.com/SMF. And you must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or your comments in the chat box. You must also have a YouTube account to input into the chat box. I will also do my best to make your comments a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes we get a conversation going and I can't even get a word in myself, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comment. Okay. Now, if you find the Stunthangar video hangouts or the many building videos that Sparky does on his platform informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share the videos, and even comment. Now, if you have any comments and you want to get them to me, the most quickest way would be to go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. It's all one word, all the letters are in there, Flying Control Line Stunt. And that way I'll get a notification and I'll be able to get back to you promptly. I'm only in this channel just on Mondays and Friday nights. I usually don't go in Sparky's YouTube channel unless I'm directed otherwise, but most likely this is it. So I won't get an alert if you put a comment in there and it's directed toward me. Now, if you was to subscribe and the comments, that helps the channel grow. That's just part of the analytics that they look at. Also, the YouTube memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, is also an indicator for the popularity of the channel. That also helps. Now, $4.99 a month, that's less than 17 cents a day. And your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. And with your memberships, you'll get special badges I'll see in the YouTube chat and unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Now, you can also donate. If you don't want to do the subscription of $4.99 a month, you can do a super chat, which is located in the chat box. It's a big $sign toward the bottom. And again, just like the chat, you can't do that except for during a live stream. And again, so we do this on Monday and Friday nights, 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when we start. Sometimes we go to midnight or even later, but the live stream ends about midnight. And so come in during that time and just come in to make your donation or ask your question or comment or whatever. And that'll help the channel grow, just your activity. So we appreciate that. I want to let you know that we do thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Also like to ask you to please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or say things you wouldn't do around your children or grandchildren. Without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and post the link in Stunthangar Forum, which will give you the link to get into this space. So that's the advantage of being involved with the forum. You actually can come in here. Let me post that now. So that's being posted as we speak. Okay. So that's posted. Let me go see how we're doing on the YouTube side. And I don't understand. I really need to spend more time figuring out how this Zoom Pro works, because with the other platform, I didn't have the problem that I have with every introduction, every monologue. It always tends to bite me on the backside. And let me see here. I'm going to switch to Sparky's account and let me go look into the control panel and see how we're doing. How we're doing on the YouTube side. Let's see here. Let me mute that. And let's see here. So let me see how many concurrent viewers we have and how many likes we have. Getting to that screen right now. Let me click on this. All right, so monetization. Yes. All right. So it looks like Marcel Legrand is in there already. He says, "Evening, Charles. Thank you." And then there's a new person I haven't seen before. It's VOIDINQQ. I wouldn't even know how to say that, except for the first part is void. Voiding QQ. I don't know. Evening, Charles. Thank you very much. I'm just gonna call you Void because I don't know how else to say it. Thank you, Void, for coming in, and thank you for greeting me. Appreciate that. And we have 11 concurrent viewers. Awesome. And we have, how many likes do we have? Let me see here. And we have 9 likes. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. I really stumbled coming into the this monologue with this the way this live stream happens. It's I don't know what the trick is, but I will figure it out. And let's see what's going on in the Zoom here. Anybody has joined me yet? Not yet. Let me move this over here to the screen. Okay. And it looks like Marcel Legrand says, "Evening, Charles. What is your Facebook name? I can't find you on there." Yeah, I'm not really active on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Lomax. That's Lomax Carter. Lomax, Lomax Carter. And Jeff Riley says, "Hi, Charles, and all of you there. I thought," he thought the, when I talk about the stunthanger.com/SMF, I might start using that, but he says SMF means smart men flying. You know, I'm going to, if you don't mind, Jeff, I'm going to borrow that. So I'm going to start using that. I love that. Smart men flying, because you know what? I think you have to be pretty smart to fly. I will agree to that. Now, Eddie Sutter says, "Can't log in to Stunthanger, don't remember password." You know what, Eddie, join the club. I mean, you know, I don't know if you know what's happened, but just for everybody who's out there who might be listening, Sparky has had to do a lot of work. He has a new server, and I really can't get into the details because Sparky's the man. But I know that he had to set up a new server, and it's like he has to do it twice because he has to do it under the Stunthanger spelled with the ER, then Stunthanger spelled with the AR, and all kinds of stuff. So during the course of all that, we all had to enter in our username, and which is supposed to be your first and last name with a space between, and then your password. And of course, I haven't used my password in probably almost a year because I have Stunthanger forms set up to always just log in automatically. So a lot of us can't remember our passwords, right? And I guess I'm not sure about the reset feature. I think there was a problem with that as well. I know Steve Hines had a problem because he couldn't get it to reset. So Sparky's aware of it, so please don't bug Sparky. He's I think he's had it up to here with people complaining. And you know, he's spinning a lot of plates, you know, besides building that P-47. And you know, he went to Dan's house over the weekend twice and had to deal with problems there. So The best thing would be to just to contribute, send some money, show him your love, show him your appreciation. And I'm sure he'd appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know how to help you, Eddie, because I don't remember your password either. I know you tried 3 different ways, I see. You know, it might even be your username. Maybe you didn't use the uppercase letter for your first name. Try a variety of different things. It might be, anyways. Join the club. A lot of people are having problems. I actually had to log in to start the show, and I didn't remember my password either. I had to struggle with that about a week or so ago. Anyways, let me move on. And let me see what's going on. Did anybody come in here yet? What am I doing? I meant to, I got rid of the other one. Let's see here. Where'd that go? Okay, I don't need that anymore. I'm gonna leave that up. Bear with me. I just lost one of my screens. Oh, it's there. Okay, it's underneath that tab. Oh, that tab. There we go. Okay. All right. So getting back to the chat box, and then Jeff Riley says, "Go for it. Sounds fitting for the show." I agree, Jeff. I think that's great. Smart men flying. Smart men flying. Okay. Then Will Davis says, "Good evening, Charles from North Carolina." And good evening, Will Davis. I'm so glad that you're in attendance. I think you're the same Will Davis that I met at Brodax, right, in 2016. And you guys, you and your partner there in crime did an excellent job hosting the Brodax when I was there. Eddie Sutter says, "Can I get on without going through Stunthangar?" That's a very good question. I'm gonna think about that. Now, Jeff Riley, hi, Will. Is this by chance a 71 Camaro in your picture? I haven't seen Will. Oh, yeah, that looks like a Camaro. You're right. And then Eddie Sutter says, "I said sent to my email, but didn't get it." Yeah, I have 2 emails, Eddie. I don't know if you have more than one, but you might want to consider all the emails. Hey, Gary, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
And I think I'm all caught up on the chat. All right, all caught up. And now we have 14 viewers, 14 likes, 100%. Thank you very much. That is awesome. Let me see here. Hang on, Gary. I'm trying to
It's okay.
get things set up here.
Yeah.
I don't have both my screens where I like it to be yet. Let's see what's going on. If I need to move this one over, I don't know what's going on. So Gary, how have you been since last time I spoke to you?
Pretty good.
Good. I hope nothing happened that quick, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a shock. You would have said you slipped and fell and hurt yourself.
No, we don't want to do that.
No, I got this screen up here. Okay, so let me fix the other screen on the other side. Man, I'm having a difficult time this evening. Just bear with me here. I'm still trying to get things set up so that I can keep an eye on the control panel in YouTube and the Zoom meeting here. What's going on? There we go. All right, now I got everything the way I like it. All right, cool. So you had no problem getting into to Stunthangar.
No.
You remember your username and you remembered your password, huh?
Well, I already did that, last time or something, or the time before last. I had to re-sign in.
Did you have a little bit of a hiccup doing that?
Yeah, I just got my paper out.
Take a note from Gary. So he has a little note with his password and username.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are people having problems, Gary.
Oh.
Yeah, people having problems. So it's
Well, I was on vacation. Then when I come back, then I think when I didn't connect, so I had to re-sign up.
I didn't go flying today. I was actually helping my son build a computer. He's been working on accumulating stuff for a while, and so I spent time with him. And it was a good father-son time together. My son's 15. And by the way, he does not fly model airplanes. These young kids today. He has flown. He's flown about, I don't know, 7 times. I had him flying a Skyray. It had a OS 25 LA on it. It was a little bit of a handful for him. He had a little difficult time landing. You could keep it in the air. I don't know. I don't understand kids today.
I was telling you, I was watching, some of the videos where they got the camera on the guy that's flying it. So you're staying right with the plane, you see your lines and everything. I remember that. It come back, that how it felt, that plane out there, you trying to keep it where you want it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's talking about seeing it, but you can't get the feel.
Yeah.
That feeling is, that's what got me back into this hobby was this happenstance. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about control line, and about 18 years ago, my cousins came to visit me. I was having major surgery, and I don't know if I was going to die or what, but they came out and visited me, and they brought a chipmunk and a twister, and they said, let's go fly. I go, man, I haven't flown in like 25 years or whatever it was. I mean, really, it's been that long. They go, it's just like riding a bike. I go out there, and no kidding, I was flying a twister, and as the plane was rolling out, and before it actually got in the air, I mean, before the wheels left the ground, I got bit. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I left this behind. I mean, really, I was just like, how do you walk away from something like that? Well, I can tell you how it happened. Here comes Gerald. Hey, Gerald. See your name? I don't see your image yet. There you are.
Yay.
There's something obscuring part of your camera. What is that? Is that a wing? Yeah, that. I don't hear you either, Gerald. I just see you now. Is your Yep, you got to plug in your mic. I don't hear you yet. You're still muted. I see your mic has a line through it. But there we go.
Okay. Oh, hello, Charles. Hello, Gary.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello to all the others out there.
Yes. So how you doing?
Oh, good, thank you. Just been busy with a lot of other things. I haven't been able to come in. We're trying to set up a container shelter, and with the boys on school holiday, I don't always get the chance to get on Stunthangar. And when my wife's working at home, she gets all the bandwidth. And then I get to come in when nobody else is on the computer and nobody else is working. Then I've got the computer. So today I'm free.
Well, I appreciate you coming in live with us. I really appreciate that. I was just sharing with Gary how I came back, as far as what we call a retread. I got back into the control line hobby about 18 or 19 years ago. And my cousins who I had taught how to fly, they came to visit me prior to me going in for I had a tumor in my pituitary gland that needed to be removed because I had what's called acromegaly, which means in Latin, big hands. My body was producing too much growth hormones. Anyways, make a long story short, when I'm flying, I just could not believe that I had left this behind. And, I left this behind when I was a young man, got into dirt bikes, girls, cars later on, and girlfriend later on after that. Didn't think anything of it. So it's just amazing. But when I was flying it for the first time in 25 or 30 years, I was just like, whoa, how did you, because the feeling, I can't think of anything that's quite like this, I mean,
I've never stopped flying, but like my wife said on the weekend, come on, get outside and start flying or you'll get depressed, Gerald. she chases the boys out and says, hurry up, get out there and start flying.
Yeah, a friend of mine, we call it circulitis. When you need to get and fly in circles, we call it circulitis. And after I don't know how many days it starts creeping in, I start feeling circulitis. I need to get out there and circle and fly a plane.
Yeah. My wife sometimes flies, but I just feel happy when I see other people fly as well. I really enjoy it when I see my sons flying. My oldest son, Otto's totally hooked. He's completely hooked on the flying. He loves flying. Whereas the younger one, Max, is a bit uncertain at times, but once you get him active and doing it, then he's really happy. Then they're sometimes fighting on who gets the next go, who gets to fly next. And if we're flying at home, they'll keep flying all day. If we're flying at home, they'll fly until it's getting dark or too cold or whatever, or too hungry, but they'll keep going.
What a life.
But it's drummed into them, and for them, like, we let them do video games once a week, but just once a week, so flying special as well. I suppose if you did it too much, it might lose the novelty, but if you keep it special, then they look forward to it. But it's hard with all the distractions today. I can see a lot of kids don't get that much out of it.
Probably my biggest problem is I let my kids go on the computer probably way too much. That's probably why. That might be why. That's my guess. Let me comment on the chat box. Jack Snavely says, hello, all around the world. And he has some airplane emojis showing there. And then I see your comment, Gerald. Hello, Charles. And the Stunthangar group we will need a stunt SWF. What's that? Stunt?
I was just saying for the ladies flying.
Oh, yeah.
Not woman flying, because
there's
a few ladies out there.
Hey, John, welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, it's good to be here. I'm glad to see Gerald here. I have a question for him.
Oh.
Gerald, is there a stunt flyer in New Zealand with the last name, I think it's Munro?
Daniel Munro. Yeah, I know him. He lives a long way away from where we do.
Yeah. Right. Well, he sent me a PM interested in my biplane, and when we did all the changeover on the Stunthangar, I lost all my PMs, and I have no way.
Oh.
If you have a way to contact, would you just ask him to contact me again?
Yeah, because I think Marcel Legrand might have been trying to contact you as well. He mentioned at one point that he was trying to contact you, but Marcel's on the chat.
Yeah, I did get contact with Marcel.
Yeah,
but Munro, I haven't been able to get contact with. So I was hoping you'd go up.
Yeah, I don't think I've got your email, John, but I'll try and PM you as well, and get your email as well, if maybe that'll help. Yeah,
sounds good. That'll work.
Yeah, but yeah, we've got some keen stunt flyers here, some very keen people.
Yeah, they both sound like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they've both been flying quite a long time. Daniel Munro's a fair bit younger than me. But he's a very good flyer. He's not a rusty old novice like me, but yeah, he's very good at it. And Marcel's been flying a long time too. He's very, very good builder, Marcel, very keen person.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to getting to know them a whole lot better, as time goes on. I think we have a lot in common and a lot to share with each other. So, I certainly want to make sure they get the plans that they want.
Yeah, well, it's nice that there's quite a large worldwide control line community, and that's something that Stunthangar and all the different social media touch into, the fact that we've got a huge number of people doing it worldwide. Even though you might feel like you're on your own, like where I normally fly, I feel like I'm on my own, but there's a lot of people out there.
You're absolutely right, and we do have a large international presence here on the various forums, and it's a pleasure to get to meet them. In my opinion, I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah. I know the international travel thing with the world champs, everybody's a little bit upset with that, but we've just got to live with the times, and hopefully we'll be able to travel around and frequent things like Brodak again. And
next year, Brodak, next year.
Yeah. I'm wondering if the borders will be open though, but I don't suppose we'll be ready to go. But it does sound good that I think Buzz was going to have it at her place again as well, from what I heard, not at the airfield.
Yeah, it's going to be great. You know, a lot of pent up pressure there, though. The guys are this weekend are holding the Prairie Fire contest up in Alberta, Canada, and their borders aren't open, so none of us from the lower 48s can go up and compete with them. So, darn it.
Yeah, there's an issue because people in New Zealand often feel trapped here because of if we do leave, we've got the cost of coming back, of having to go into isolation for a couple of weeks, and if it were a whole family, it would be a very expensive business.
Oh yeah, well, I hope the country's open here, you know, by next spring, so that if you can and you have the ability that you could be, I'd love to see it at Rodex, you know.
Yeah, well, if not next year, it might be the year after, but we'd definitely like to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great. Well, let me turn it back then to Charles, and thanks for answering my question and for helping out there.
All right, thank you, John. Let me continue with the chat. I think I left off with that one thing Gerald was saying about the SWF, right? Yeah, and then Jack Snavely says, hello, all around the world. And then Gerald Wimmer says, hello, Gary, Eddie, Jeff, Marcel, and all those on Stunthangar. And then Jeff Riley says, hi, Gerald. And Marcel Legrand says, hi, Gerald, good to see you again. And Daryl Works, he says, hello, all. I flew an old SIG Banshee with a Fox 35 this morning. It felt great. Well, you know what? I remember my Banshee. I loved flying my Banshee. I had a Banshee with a Super Tiger 35 on it. Not the G21, but the one with the C on the side case. They're more known for a combat plane. But I had that, and mine might have had a baffle, so it was a stunt version, and that was a blast to fly. I wish I could find a picture because I have a picture of it when it crashed. Is I did two things at once. I adjusted the needle valve and kind of short tanked the tank and ran out of gas. And it was the first time, you know, when you go inverted and you're out of gas the first time, your inclination is to want to bring your plane right back up, right? When it goes inverted and stalls. Yeah. And if you're uncomfortable flying the plane, your first response usually is to try to bring it around and recover upright. Well, trying to do that, you lose so much airspeed. The plane came in on me, and it just missed me, as a matter of fact. And the plane went into the ground like an arrow, and it just shredded the wings off. And my friend Mike Mulligan was there. I don't know if you're listening, Mike, but I know you was concerned about my safety. And then once you knew I was all right, we just had the best laugh, because I thought I was an athlete. I was going to run away from the plane, and I fell after 2 or 3 steps.
I'd love to see the video of that.
I know. I couldn't believe it. It was the first time I ever fallen trying to run. You know, I'm a pretty good athlete, so that was too funny. Anyways, let me continue on. I was just reminiscing about my Banshee, by the way. If I can find that picture, I'll show it. Then Marcel Legrand says, "Hi, John. I gave him your email. I guess it's regarding the person you was concerned about, John."
Yeah.
Okay. And then Jeff Riley says, "The Banshee with a Fox 35 is one of my favorite combos." Yes, those old planes with the Fox 35, it's a staple. I mean, it's just a standard. It really is. And then Marcel Legrand says, "John, I gave Danny your email."
Oh, good. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Marcel Legrand. And Marcel Legrand, I was on Facebook today. I'm not on Facebook a lot, by the way, you guys, but I just happened to be. I was actually kind of looked at the marketplace, and I went over there and I saw a video of you, Marcel Legrand, flying. So pretty good flying. So that was pretty interesting to see,
right back.
To see you on Facebook flying. That was pretty cool. Anyways, we're back now. It's just the 3 of us, and I've been just since, I don't know if I've spoken to you last, Gary, but I've been working on my red Strega. And I know you've seen videos of that plane flying, but it came to me that that plane really does not turn as well as it could. After flying several other planes, I realized that plane's deficiency and that it doesn't turn very well. So in an attempt to fix that, I moved the engine back, and I moved it back an eighth of an inch the first time. And then I moved it back now a total of 5/8 of an inch. And I'm not finished yet with the modification, but I'm so excited, looking forward to flying the plane, and hopefully it'll turn a lot better. And I'm so excited about that. This is amazing. I can't explain to you how excited I am about the prospect of the moving the CG back, what the plane's going to be like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it'll perform a lot nicer if you don't have to add tail weight and you move the nose, the CG back. They always feel a lot better. It's like with the combat wing. If you've got to add tail weight to get them to fly better, then they always just feel that bit heavier in the air. But when you don't have to add weight, they just feel so much nicer when they're that nice, light and nimble.
Yeah, I've already shedded like 2 ounces off the plane with these mods. So that's one reason why I'm excited too. I shedded 2 ounces at least, and I might even, by this all said and done, might have shed 2.5 ounces. Who knows what I'm going to end up with? But anyway, I can shed some more weight off them. I'm going to do it. This is a big plane, but the Stalker 81, and also by moving it back, I ended up cutting the nose off, and it just seemed to lend itself to a 2 3/4 inch spinner. And I actually like that look better than it had previously with the 2-inch spinner, because it's a big motor and it has a big prop. And, you know, with a big prop, a small spinner doesn't look quite right. When you see it, you just don't know what it is. But then when you put the 2 3/4 inch spinner, I realized, whoa, that looks really impressive. So that's what I'm pretty excited about. And when you look at the flight line, you're going to see a bunch of 2-inch spinners. You know, I mean, when you see a plane with a bigger spinner, that might even give the plane a little bit of, as far as aesthetically, it might, catch someone's attention because it's going to be a bigger spinner.
I think too, the original Strager was a Mustang, and the Mustang has a big spinner. It's not a little dainty spinner. They've got a huge spinner on the Mustang, and that way it makes the plane look bigger, I think, with the bigger spinner.
Yes, and I put a Mustang like more like a Mustang like rudder, because the Strager rudder that Wendy Anowski designed, I guess it's kind of more like the regular Strager, but not so much like a regular P51 spinner. Not like a regular P51 rudder. Mustang. I have a more of a Mustang rudder with a dorsal fin in front of the rudder.
Yeah.
The regular Strager does not have that dorsal fin. It's just relatively smooth, and you have the rudder. And I put a dorsal fin in front of the rudder. So it looks, the only thing I'm missing is the radiators underneath the wing to look more like a Mustang, but it looks like a Mustang when I fly it from the inside of the circle.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I often thought about that. I bought a Strager kit. I got it on eBay, and it's been sitting there. I wasn't quite sure how to approach it because I've got other projects in the meantime, but that was something that struck me. I thought, well, the original Strager was a Mustang. It was an Australian Mustang, actually, and then they got converted to racing a long time ago. But yeah, it'd be neat to put more of the Mustang into it. Yeah.
Interesting. So it was an Australian Mustang. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Was there any difference between the Australian Mustangs and the other Mustangs?
Oh, no. I think it was just the fact that it survived in Australia a bit longer, because if they ended up in Canada or Australia or New Zealand, then they generally were kept in service longer. So that at the end of the war, the Americans would have been moving on to the Shooting Star or the F-86 or whatever, and we were hanging on to those older piston planes a bit longer. And so there were a few more of them floating out there, and there were quite a number of them in Australia and New Zealand. I think a lot of the ones in New Zealand got melted down, but there were quite a few in Australia that subsequently went on to careers in racing, in pylon racing. But I think the same thing happened with the a lot of the other ones, like what's the other one? The Bearcats and things. They ended up in a place where they couldn't afford the latest jet technology, and then through the 60s and 70s they got put into the racing circuit. And even ones like the Hawker Sea Fury, I think some of them went to Egypt, and then they were dug out of Egypt in the 1960s or 70s, quite late in the piece, and they went off. And Ethiopia, I think, was another one that had some of those old piston engine planes. Oh wow, that looks nice, John.
Couldn't help myself.
Yeah, if you ever look at that Mustang, they throw a big prop, don't they? You ever see the prop on them things?
That's massive.
I mean, them blades are way out there. They throw a big.
Yeah, well, they call it, but it wasn't it, don't they call the Mustang the Cadillac in the sky? I've heard that. That's Cadillac in the sky. It might have been.
They're very light and nimble compared to the P47. It would have been a sports car in a way too. It would have been quite a plane. They didn't use them on carriers because I think they were too lightly built for carrier work.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they were obviously built as a fighter, not as a fighter bomber or anything. They were built with that intended role. Whereas a P47 worked well as a ground attack plane.
Yeah, hang on one second. Let me get to the chat box. There's been a couple comments since the last thing here. Jeff Riley says, always like the bigger spinners too. More cushion for the really hard landings.
They compress up well.
That's a good point. Yeah, and then Mike Regel. Hey, Mike Regel. He says, you say Wendy designed the Strega? I didn't know that. Well, I don't know. I know that Wendy has a Strega that he did in 1985, and it basically was a modified Pattern Master designed by Big Jim Greenway. And yes, that was a plane that he designed, and I'm not sure who drew the plans up, but I actually have the Brodak ARF version of it, and I have a Brodak kit as well. And I also have a Strega that Ruben McBride gave me. So I refer to that one as the white Strega because it's predominantly white. And the one I've been campaigning, I refer to as my red Strega. But yeah, I like the, and it's Windy is W-I-N-D-Y. It's actually Winfried Uranowski, and we call him Windy, or he calls himself Windy actually. So yeah, that was that design was campaigned in 1985. And Minnesota Mike says, Charles, is that Strega I held for you in Madeira? Yes, that's the same one, Minnesota Mike. And, you know, it's an old girl, and it's showing her age. It's showing she has some what we call garage rash, and it's you know, I built that plane pretty good. I actually built the wing saddle and used biscuits to put the wing saddle in. So it's held up all these years, and it's had at least 3 or 4 different motors in it, and 2 different mountings. And so even the engine bearings are kind of showing their wear. I'm actually having to reinforce them and sturdy them up. But yeah, the plane is still around. It's never been crashed or anything. It's a good flying plane, and I have a new Stalker 81 in it. The one when you flew it, when you held it, I mean, Minnesota Mike, that was the older Stalker, which is a great motor, but now I have a new motor, and I'm really excited about that. Michael Gill says, I saw the plans advertised in 2 sizes. I'm only aware of the size that I have. So who knows if you saw 2 different sizes? Well, that's, oh, you know what? No, I'm thinking of the Cardinal. I know the Cardinal was the different sizes of the Cardinal by Wendy. Well, anyways, Michael, if you saw that, you know, I can't argue with what you saw. Marcel Legrand says, I had a Strega too, but let me see here. Oh, but a mate. Well, that must be, I don't use that word mate here in California, but a mate crashed it, so no more. Yeah, oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I know that's the hey, you know, this is part of the hobby. If you let someone fly your plane, boy, you better be willing and to accept the outcome. It might not be very good. That's just part of the hobby. Sometimes I feel sorry for the individual who's actually didn't do anything wrong, but the plane had a failure, and then all they can say is, I don't know what happened, and the owner, you know, it never happened to him before. So it's yeah, it's just one unfortunate thing. And then Frederick Zoller, he says, the other day you guys mentioned the Half-A Pinto as I was building it. Kind of neat. Oh, cool. I'm glad that you like that. I remember when I was talking about the Pinto being a pretty good half A. I think I saw one at the Golden State Sun Championship, doing pretty well. No, it wasn't a half A Pinto. Was there another Pinto besides half A? It was not a half A, I don't think. It was a Pinto, but not half A. I could be mistaken. And then Mike Rigel says there's several different planes that use the same wing, like the SV-11 and some others. Do you know of any? You guys know
That's the first one on me. Yeah.
of any planes that use the same wing?
I suppose they all follow a similar airfoil now.
I know John has his mouth full, but I think I have a kit for the Thunder Gazer, and I believe the Thunder Gazer, if I'm not mistaken, has a Geo Bolt wing in it, or the Geo XL wing in it. I think David Fitzgerald deliberately put that wing in it because he knew it went through the wind, and he was building the Thunder Gazer in preparation for the World Championships in France, and knew that he needed a plane that could go through the wind because he expected a lot of wind in France. So there are some planes that, I don't know all of them, obviously, but there are some planes that share the same wing. I know there was a lot of planes built in the classic era that were basically modified Noblers. So that would be a case of where they use the same wing for the same plane. Different.
Yeah. You know, Sparky always says, he always.
You're muted, John. Just so you know, you're muted. Which is probably you didn't want us to hear when you smacking with the food, right? Thank you very much. Go ahead, Gerald. I interrupted you.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Sparky always says they've all got a similar airfoil, like the shape of his shoe. He always,
Yes.
that there.
I saw that video. Did you guys see that video?
Yeah.
He went to make a point that it doesn't really matter because he can use a shoe to build a wing, and he actually used a shoe to develop the airfoil of. I'm not sure which plane was it. You remember the plane he used to use the shoe?
It was a while back. I can't remember if it was before the Juno or whatever. It's a while back. I remember watching the video, but I can't. Yeah. My memory isn't that good.
Yeah, but it was before I think you're right. It was before the Juno, I think.
In my opinion, on airfoils for stunt use, and this is just my opinion, there's three things that matter on an airfoil. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what you use for an airfoil. But it's the entry, whether it's bold and flat, or sharp or pointed, or whether it has a good entry for stunt work, in windy weather or calm weather, or whether it's got like a NACA 4-digit, which is kind of a ellipse, kind of it's a flatter airfoil. And then your high point and where your high point is located. Bob Hunter once told me that most of the work done on an airfoil is done between the leading edge and the high point.
Yeah.
Now, then there is, according to Iger's plans and studies, there is something to be said for after the high point to a degree, nothing like the entry in the forward area, but you'll notice he's got a little bit of a curve back there as well. And so did, what's his name that did the beautiful scale like Mustangs, Al Raby.
Al Raby, yeah. Well, I suppose nowadays we've got more people flying electric. They want a different airfoil section, and that much thinner airfoil suits the electric because they can govern the speed better with the electric setup. So it's changing that.
You're absolutely right, Gerald. Absolutely right. And in fact, I've got my Vanguard up there's got it's actually a 14%, but when it has the extension on the trailing edge, it's no 16%. It's 14% with the extension on it. And that seems to be a good airfoil number to put in there. Like you say, we don't need to try to regulate a lot of horsepower with a lot of drag.
I imagine the tune pipe sets setups could probably use a thinner aerofoil, a 16 or 18% or something, compared to the old Super Tiger 60 style high drag aerofoil.
Yeah. Well,
Hard.
the pattern masters.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, Howard, how you doing? The pattern masters were
okay.
They had airfoils derived for the Super Tiger 60s, and that's what they're designed around. So they have these big, thick airfoils. Look at the Striga, 3-inch thick airfoil. Well,
It's big airfoil. It is a big, thick airfoil.
Yeah, Charles, you said you tried different power plants out on your first Striga. What motors did you experiment with?
Mostly the Stalker 81 and then the K77. But really just two motors, but I went through the first Stalker 81. Of all things, I was flying it, and then one day I heard it make a funny noise and landed the plane in one piece. And come to make a long story short, I ended up finding out that the crankshaft had broken into two pieces, but because it was inside the crankcase, it held together, and it was a jagged break, and it just fit perfectly with very little space, and I could just hear it, different sound. But so I ended up during that time. Hey, Carl. During that time, I replaced that with the A77, which was a different, setup. So I did that for a while, and then when I finally repaired the Stalker, I put that back in. So it's really been two motors, but I've had as many as 4 motors in and out of that same plane. There's a little bit of variance between the length of the K77 and the length of the Stalker 81. So that's where some of the holes and the engine bears were double drilled, or elongated, and I've kind of compromised the wood a little bit. And I had some line nuts actually telescope through, just because the plane's so old and it's just been through an awful lot. But it's going to be solid when I get done. I'm actually going through it and putting brass tubes in those holes, and going to put some plywood above it. Where the blind nets go in instead of going into the maple, directly into the maple, and it's gonna be really stout and rigid when I get done.
So it's on your Strega?
The red Strega. Yeah.
That wood hardening epoxy is quite good too, to harden it up where it's starting to get soft. If you can get the wood hardening epoxy that you use for treating timber, and it just soaks in, that might be good for stiffening up the bearers.
I'm not familiar with that particular wood hardening epoxy. That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
I'll go and grab some. I'll show you. I'll be back in a minute.
Great, thank you.
What kind of epoxy is it?
He said it's wood hardening epoxy. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Well, we're gonna see it. He's gonna retrieve it for us. So.
I've created a monster here, Charles.
Whenever you have pizza, he's gonna be yapping.
This dog loves pizza.
Yeah, I can tell. I heard him.
And my white cat is right here.
I heard him. Wow, here we go with the wood hardening epoxy.
Yeah, it's a 2-part mix. It's quite thin, and you mix it up and it soaks in, and then it provides either a primer base that you're putting out like a doming epoxy on. You want to create a flashy surface finish on a table or something. The wood hardening epoxy seals all the grain. It's a lot. I imagine you could thin down normal epoxy to do the same thing, but it's intended to make timber harder, waterproof, and stops rot. So that's what it's sold as, wood hardening epoxy.
Really? Thank you, Gerald. And I've never heard of that. So that's I'll look into that.
Yeah, this one.
I have a lot of epoxy, and maybe I'll just thin the epoxy I had. I wonder if finishing resin is thinner. I wonder if that would work, or should I get regular epoxy and thin that?
Yeah, you could probably do some searches on the internet to find out, but I have thinned epoxy before and put it over the engine mounts, and I'm not sure if it has the same properties. When you use this, it does feel very hard when it sets. You don't seem to compromise the qualities of the epoxy by thinning it. It's just the difference I've noticed. It works well. I've used it before, but yeah, I've got finishing resin that I'll sometimes thin down if I'm in a rush, and I'll just put that over. Or if you're in an absolute rush, then you'll just put cyano on just to thin it to harden the wood. But the wood hardening epoxy does seem like it's got some real advantages, just from what I've seen.
Now,
So
denatured
that
to thin. What do you use to thin it?
You can get a special epoxy thinners. This actual brand, they actually sell their own proprietary thinner, but otherwise, you can thin it with like methanol with our or ethanol or methanol, but they tend to absorb water. So if you use the proprietary brand of thinner, it doesn't absorb water, and so you won't get the clouding effect. So I normally buy an epoxy thinner with when I buy the product.
Cool. Thank you. Go ahead, Carl. What do you want to say, Carl?
well, that wood epoxy that he's talking about, is that so that it soaks into the wood instead of the regular epoxy, where regular epoxy just creates a coat on top of the wood? Is that the difference?
That's right. Yeah. So it stiffens the wood. It makes the wood much harder. So if you're making if you want a finished table or something where you want to harden the wood, and then you're going to put your other epoxy over it, it does create a very hard working surface.
Well, thank you very much, Gerald, for that information. Now, let me get back to the chat. There's been a little bit of typing since we've last looked at it. Marcel Legrand says, I want to build John's bike soon as I have a plan.
Oh, I will send one out.
And then Mike Rigel says, yeah, some of these models run into some money. You have to tell the average person no when they want to try to fly it. It's something you have to learn how it's something you have to learn, Yeah, exactly. I was surprised. Speaking of that, I was surprised at Sparky when we was driving to the Nats, and I actually I think we was already there, but we was heading back to the hotel. And I asked Sparky, I go, Sparky, man, I'm just amazed. Have you seen me fly before? Because I was just, had been handling the Junar. I was holding the plane and starting it, and I was just so taken back by the plane. And I go, Sparky, have you ever seen me fly? And he goes, no, Charles, but yeah, I figure you can fly. You going to the Nats. And if you would have crashed, I just would have built a new one, which is, of course, he builds planes. He's pretty prolific. Since the Junar, he's built quite a few planes. Let me mute my my mic here. Hang on.
I wanted to ask Marcel a question. Marcel, are you aware that we're still working on the trim outs on the biplane? The plane flies beautiful in the flat and level and the round maneuvers, but it has a problem on the last corner of the square maneuvers, and the hourglass, it tries to yaw and do a little roll there. And we're not sure. There's several things we're looking at. One is making it adjustable so we can put down negative incidents in the top wing. And we're also looking at the plans that I've got has got the new longer wing that I had been working on before I got it in my accident. And it's 759 or 749 square inches. So it's a big airplane. High aspect ratio though. So anyway, be aware that the plane, those that I'm sending plans to have to be aware that the plane is not finished. I'm going to be counting on your expertise in getting it trimmed out and let me know what you've done, because I just don't have the time to build a bunch of them right now. And so I'm appreciating, and I'm giving the plans away for those that are doing that for me, because the way I sell my plans anyway is kind of a farce. I send you the plan, you send me what you think it's worth to you.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Gerald.
Oh, I was just saying hi, Tyrion.
Oh,
Sorry to interrupt.
anyway, I'm done.
All right. Hi, Tryon.
Hi, Tryon.
Hello.
Hey.
Let me finish up with the with your comment you just said, John, because matter of fact, this is right in line with what you're saying. He goes, yes, I am. I said try just using the bottom flap as well. Remember the suggestion you got, John? It was so he's aware of that issue. Hey, Phil, thanks for coming in. And Frederick Zoller says, another coincidence today, for the first time ever, I bought some thinner for epoxy from Smooth On.
You'll get up.
So
Phil?
was that you, Phil?
Yeah. How are you guys? Howdy. How is everybody?
Good. Well, that was a great introduction, Phil. I like the he did that.
Good.
I
just turned it on, man. I don't know.
No worries. So are you guys familiar with that Smooth On, that product that Frederick is talking about?
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. That's interesting.
And Minnesota Mike says, hi, Phil.
Hey, Mike, how are you? I got the motor, and thank you so much. It'll be on an airplane this weekend.
So you haven't tried it yet. What motor is that?
It's a OS 46 LA, and it looks like a really nice one. It's got a pot load of compression, I can tell you that. It does look like it's got extra head gaskets in it, but it's got more compression than I can turn by hand. And most of the guys that know me will tell you I got pretty strong fingers. So
you hold it up a little bit slower so we can check it out.
The what?
Yeah, hold it up.
I think it's gonna be a good one.
Very nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you have the blue head and the
silver. Got the blue head and silver.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. If I can get the hook to the lathe, it'll have a round head on it.
Oh, really?
Working. I've found a trick that I don't know if it works or not, but I'm not gonna cut that head. I'm gonna cut another head down and try it. Might try it. I don't know. It lightens them up about an eighth of an ounce, about between an eighth and a quarter of an ounce. And I don't know. Mike Garman used to tell me these things are funny shaped.
Yeah,
weird shaped them. They're bigger at the front than they are at the back. Mike Garman said, take the darn thing off and put it on backwards. And it does not hurt these. Doesn't bother these heads to do that. There's no port for the piston to go up in or anything. So he said, now why in the world would you put most of the metal at the front? The heat's at the back. So they look goofy when you run the head backwards. But Mike said, try it. I tried it one time on a 40 and it's still on there backwards 2 years later, or 3 years later now. But I'm game to try anything if I don't have to hurt anything to do it.
Yeah,
and if it works, I'll keep on using it.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Mike was a smart guy.
Yeah,
Mike was a very smart guy. He was interested.
Very, very good idea.
So how's everybody?
I'm doing well. And
good deal, Charles.
Doing good.
Got my mouth full.
Glad. Oh, how are you doing? Did you get my email?
I did.
Good. I got everything. I went to try to get them copied today and did not get them copied. She told me to bring them back Wednesday, so I'm gonna try it. I got home from I got home from Trans. Went down there this weekend to work on the new planes and spent the weekend in Atlanta. And I'm telling you what, I thought traffic around here was crazy. We ain't got nothing on Atlanta. But anyhow, I went down there for the weekend and got home, and my granddaughter has dropped us off a new terrorist, and he is just it's a little schnauzer, miniature schnauzer, and he is just a ball. He's a mess. Whoever had him apparently left him in the crate at night and left him in the yard all day, but nobody spent much time with him. He's gentle as he can be to play with and fun, and but he wants to be near you when he can. But they did not tell me a name, and I don't think he's got one. He does not answer to a name. I mean, I don't know. That's weird. The dog's 10 months old and they didn't name him in 10 months. Something don't sound right.
Tell him anything you want.
Yeah, we've been calling him Jack, like jumping Jack, because he can jump. I'm 6'4", and the boy can clear my belt without any problem.
Really?
I mean, just standing 4 feet and jump straight up. And I can just reach out and grab him. He's a spring.
Wow.
As cute as he can be. But my granddaughter had him groomed before she brought him over here, and he's just cute as he can be. Got all the long whiskers. He looks like me after a long weekend when I forgot my razor. He's a cute little fella. He's a cute little fella.
Very good. Let me catch up with the chat. And Jeff Riley says, hi, Mike. And then Minnesota Mike says, hi, Jeff. And Montana Farmer, I haven't seen you in a while. He says, hey, Jeff, how are you doing? Or how are you today? Excuse me. And then Mike Regel says, what is John's bike a model of, if any?
My own design.
Well, there you go. And then Jeff Riley says, hi, Montana, doing good here. And you? And Montana Farmer says, doing good, doing good. Hot here. Today was 102. And then Jeff Riley says, rain here, all about 1/10 of an inch, floods, fires, earthquakes. What more could you ask for?
Typical California day.
For those of you who don't know, Jeff Riley lives close to LAX. And I had a great visit with him and his wife, Wendy, a while back. And Wendy being the female Wendy, not the Wendy Ornowski Wendy, okay? So anyways, Minnesota Mike says, not here, Jeff, really humid and hot. And Montana Farmer says, we have fires here, but in a drought all summer, so it's been weird year for sure. LOL. Hey, Al, thanks for coming in.
Hey, Charles. I came in, I wanted to tell you something. I heard you say that you moved your engine 5/8 of an inch back on your plane.
Yes.
Well, you have to move your lead outs back, or else when you do the vertical H, you're going to have a big surprise.
Thanks for that heads up. I'm going to write that down. Don't forget to, I probably just need to check the CG and then move the lead outs according to the new CG, right?
Yes. If you don't move those lead outs back and you do your vertical eights and you do the top 8, you're going to have a big surprise when that plane lifts its wing and comes charging at you.
I actually have a to-do list for my Striga. See how long it is?
Yeah. Wow.
So I'm going to add that to it.
Yeah.
So
I did that to a plane, and I was, I had a heavy plane and I was messing around with the CG, moving, a few ounces back and forth, packing the back plate of the engine. And, so I said, well, I had it flying pretty good. So now let me start taking the weight out the back plate and see how it flies now with all the trimming. And boy, was I in for a surprise. I didn't move the lead outs back. When you're moving that CG that much.
Thank you very much. See, I have friends out there. Thank you very much. You came in just to let me know about that. I appreciate that, Al. And Al, I actually saw a picture of you. I was on Facebook, or actually Control Line, Mike Lonke's Facebook group. What's it called? Control Line Flying, I think it's called.
Yes, Control Line Flying.
I was in there and I saw a picture of you with your club.
Oh, yes, yeah. At the tower.
Yeah, with the new painted tower in the back behind you.
Yeah, with the cart with the Blue Jay on it. Yes.
Yes. So I saw you today.
Okay. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
That's me. I'm on the end.
Yes.
All the way to the right, looking at the picture.
Yeah, I recognize you. I didn't recognize too many folks, but I recognize you.
Yeah, we had a good a decent turnout for it. That was our Thursday night's our meeting night. So we figured, well, let's take a picture in front of the tower. Our tower used to be black and white checkerboard, and we're in the high school, in the backfield of the high school. So the high school decided to paint it into school colors. And then they had, I guess, their art department put that big Blue Jay. They added a Blue Jay on there. So it looked cool. So we figured, let's take an opportunity and, have a picture.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm in the club out here called Knights of the Round Circle.
Mhm.
Their club meetings is I think once a month on the Tuesday nights. I work Tuesday nights, so I pay the dues and go to the contest. I've never been to a club meeting with the club that I'm a member of, and it's called the Knights of the Round Circle.
Yeah, and we're having our annual stunt contest this week, this Sunday.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so we're coming into our contest season, you know.
Yeah, we are beginning to have some contests out here in the West Coast too. I'm pretty excited. I was looking at the calendar and I saw that there's the Northwestern Regionals, the Las Vegas Challenge, the Golden State Sun Championships. There's a contest called Meet and Meet, where the first was like MEAT and Meet MEET. And so that's like 4 or 5 contests that are going on. Plus, I'm hoping to go to the Joust, which is put on by the Knights of the Round Circle.
Okay.
I'm not going to make them all. I don't have that extra money, but I'm definitely going to go to at least 3 of them: the Golden State Sun Championship and the Las Vegas Challenge. So if Ruben, if you are listening, I haven't filled out the paperwork, but I am planning to come out there, and I'm inviting some friends. I invited Mike Lonke. We have invited Mike Lonke to come out because he's going to provide a plane for him. And I invited another friend from Boston, Lynn Linhart. Do you know Linhart or Linehart? Do you know him?
Lionheart, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think a lot of it really has to do with,
How long is it to drive to get to Rubens?
I don't know. I've never done it. They said it's only like 4 hours. And I was like, really? I thought Las Vegas was so much further. That's why I never went. I go to the Golden State, which is 6 hours away.
And he was a Jersey guy. He was here at one of our clubs not too far away, about an hour away from our club. And he's real good. Him and his son Steve, they're great people.
They are. Ruben McBride gave me a Strega at a contest. He gave me what I refer to as my white Strega, and it's a Strega that Ruben built.
Yeah, he's a great builder. I mean, some beautiful scale planes. I mean, the stuff that he has, he's really, gifted. Nice stuff.
That Strega flew so well, I was going to fly at the Nats, but I had so much stuff going on that by the time I got my stuff I had to get done. I had a couple of weeks left, and it's going to cost so much that Sparky said, Charles, it doesn't make any sense to pay all that shipping.
Right.
You're not going to get appearance points for. So that's when the subject of, well, I'll let you fly my Monado came up.
That was
Hey,
great.
Charles,
Yeah.
where's the Golden State contest at?
It's in Madera, California.
Oh, is that a little bit further than Winnie or Narrows?
Yes. Yeah, about another 3 hours.
Okay.
So
But
for us, the Central Valley,
it is
Sacramento, through Sacramento and yeah, big city there.
I've been like that all weekend.
San Francisco, San Jose, in that area.
Yeah, so it's probably a good 8-hour drive from here then.
no, it's only 6
6
hours.
8 hour drive.
It's 6 hours. It's not. I don't know. I think San Francisco
Well,
is
yeah.
further up. It's not. It's just 6 hours. And San Francisco is an 8-hour drive.
Yeah.
But it's about a 6 hour drive, and I couldn't encourage anyone enough to go there, because if you can't get to the Nats, and you want to see Paul Walker and Chris Cox and Howard Rush and Brett Buck and Dave Fitzgerald, and I even saw Orestes Hernandez fly at the Golden State Sun Championship. So it really is it's an incredible opportunity. I'm not even mentioning all the ones that are former national champions that show up. Besides
Uncle Jimby.
Yeah, Uncle Jimby, and when of course Bob Whiteley passed away, but Bob Whiteley used to be a regular there. Lou Walgass, and Larry Ringer. There's a lot of really good pilots that go to the Golden State. Keith Crossell. Yes,
Keith
sir.
Trossel it'd be worth going to see him, meet him, and get to talk to him.
Yeah.
Keith is an incredible fella and a heck
Yeah,
of a
he is.
memory.
I had a really good time talking to Keith Trussell at last year's VSC. Had
Who is Uncle Jimby? I want to ask before I forget his name because I'd forgotten it there for a second. Who is that? What's his real name?
Jim Aaron.
Okay, I've met him. Okay. I kept thinking y'all keep talking about him and talking about him at VSC. I should know him. Who the heck is it? But I do know him. He's a great guy. I love that Tucker special he did. That thing was so simple but so pretty. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. I was just saying that the Golden State Sun Championship, if you can't go to the Nats, Carl, this would be a chance to see those Nats caliber pilots. I mean, you're not going to see the ones that are on the East Coast, like, Derek Barry and all that kind of stuff, but you'll see some of the best. You'll see world champions.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see world champions at Golden State.
And if you can't make the Golden State, you go up to the Northwest Regionals.
Yeah.
Same guys show up there mostly.
Is that Vegas?
No, the Northwest Regionals up in Oregon, Roseburg, Oregon.
Oh. So what's the date on the Golden State?
Let me check. I think I have the dates here. Let me while I check, why don't you guys continue carrying on?
Well, don't encourage this crowd to carry on. That's asking for it.
You remember Rusty? Rusty used to say, "I'll be right back. Now, don't break anything while I'm gone."
Yeah.
Bill.
Yes, sir.
Did you get a chance to look at those plans?
I looked over them, but I mean, I'm looking at them on my telephone. I hadn't even thought about it, but I'm not smart enough to figure out to put them on this thing where they're 6 times the size and look at it. So I'll do that probably later tonight. But yeah, this has been a weekend that just, if you ever go to Trans and he will teach you more by accident than most people have taught me, period.
Wow.
And
yeah.
Lord, we went to Aircraft Spruce and bought dope and plywood and some other stuff, and then came home and started working on stuff, and just, my brain was tired when I left Saturday night. And then get this, I had gotten a hotel reservation and paid for it before I ever left Winston-Salem. I got down there, they had overbooked, and my room had been, given out. 4 times I called other hotels, gave them, and my wife or my daughter gave them credit card numbers, and I went to other hotels and ran 5 places I went before I got a room. They finally called one. They said, if you can find this place, they've got a room. So I went over there, and I remembered the place from way back when, 35 years ago when I was National Service Tech. I'd been in there. Now it's 40 years now because I've been retired 5 years. But anyway, found the place, and they still had a room for me, and I stayed and enjoyed it. If I go back, I'm not even going to look at the other places. I'm going to go back to that place because they're good place. They're good people down there. But a Garmin in Atlanta is a funny thing. It will take you out of your hotel, and it'll take you 10 miles south. Then it'll take you 7 miles west, then take you 11 miles northwest, then 7 miles east. And all you had to do was go 4 miles east out of your hotel, and you're there.
Oh man.
I don't get it. I looked at that road. And I said, I remember coming out of Trans, and it changes from what it is there to something else to Jimmy Carter Boulevard. And this is west Jimmy Carter Boulevard. So when I left Trans, I just said, doggone it, I got to try that. So I come out, and I just went by, and just went right up the road. And that's about 7 miles actually up the road. There's the hotel. I said, well, I'll be dadgum. Next time I'm coming here, and I'm going down to Trans and go that way. But that man can teach you a lot. He can teach you a lot about molding, about all kinds of stuff. He is a wealth of knowledge. He don't even realize how smart he is. He's amazing. But anyway, did anybody get to go flying this weekend? Train and I did. We both flew my airplane, but we had a ball. Had a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Oh, we did
Yeah,
a lot of
I
flying.
hear Canada in here, and
Yeah.
New Zealand no less.
Yeah.
How are you? Good to see you, buddy.
Good, thanks.
Good to
It was.
see you
We had a
too.
good time. We had a
Good
good
stuff.
time, Daryl. It's good to see you, Gerald. We went flying, and he says you need to fly it again. I'm sitting there looking over in the distance, and I'm seeing lightning bolts. I don't know about Atlanta, but I've flown with lightning in the area here, and ain't gonna happen. No, I'm done.
I agree.
He flew again. There he is. He flew again. That man's braver than I am. He flew again.
Is he braver or is he something else?
I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Oh man.
Probably something else.
But I'll tell you this. The man can fly. He picked up a plane he'd never flown before and put in. It would have been a pretty good pattern in the contest. He's
awesome.
pretty good. And that plane is not trimmed. Somebody gave it to me. I put a 51 on it, took it out and started flying it just to have something to go round and around with. It's not trimmed out, but it does fly pretty good. But I came home and was going to put tail weight on it. And I remembered, wait a minute, when I put this on here, I put a nose weight on this thing. So I took the spinner off and I said, okay. So I took the spinner weight off and put a half that much on it and put it back together. So I'm waiting to go fly it Thursday. I think we're going flying and see how it flies now. But I've already stopped the handle down about a 1/4 inch on each side. So we'll see what happens now.
Yeah,
But he's a lot. If you guys hear him say something, if he opens his mouth, listen. He's a lot smarter than he thinks he is.
Or look.
Oh,
I ain't going there.
We're trying. We're giving you a hard time tonight. We haven't even got started.
Man.
Oh Lord.
No kidding.
Yeah, I want to shoot off because I've got to go and wait for my son Max. He'll be off his bus in a few minutes, but I was going to name drop with this one, see if anybody knows the name.
Rich Van Lopez. Yes, sir.
Wow,
yes, sir.
Lopez?
I was given two models to repair, and my boys have been flying them, and they're both Rich's old models.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they're given to me by Bryce Gibson. So Bryce Gibson.
What kind of engines you have on them?
Oh, one's
Fox
got
on the one.
Yeah, one's a Fox 19 and one's a Fox 15, the BB Fox 15. So they're just set up for my boys to practice with, really, but they're probably significant models in the fact that they are Rich's old models. And he passed them on to Bryce Gibson. Yeah, one's a 15, one's a 19. They're both the BB engines.
Okay.
Yeah, the
I'll
15
tell you
is
what,
got,
the best stunt match, the best combat match I ever saw was Rich Von Lopez and Howard Rush. And you talk about some guys that were serious. We used to have a 4A contest in Winston-Salem, and those two guys battled it out. Oh my gosh. Maybe it wasn't here. Maybe it was at the Nats. But anyway, I remember watching those two battle it out one time. And if you ever want to see what combat match is supposed to be, watch those. You should have seen those two against one another. Back in those days, Howard Rush had reflexes. I don't know how I haven't seen him flying several years, 20 years. But back then, Howard had reflexes that were incredible. And Rich wasn't giving nothing up to him. Those two were, the two of them together were just amazing. So Rich's airplanes were as good as you could get back then. I'm sure they still are.
Regardless, it's quite a privilege to have a bit of history anyway.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bought some glow plugs off of Rich Lopez at a either the Palmer or the Joust. I think I only paid $1 or $2 a piece. And
yeah, he probably didn't make nothing on them. He probably just wanted to, help people out. That's just the way he was.
I bought like 4 or 5 of them, and I was like, I'm not going to pass up that price.
How'd you get that plane all the way to New Zealand?
Was that Al?
I said, how did Gerald get the plane all the way to New Zealand? Was he?
Well, some of the people that compete internationally, like Bryce Gibson and also the Palmers, Doug Palmer and James Palmer, I think Rich Von Lopez pitted for Doug and James Palmer at Poland at the last World Champs. So some models get brought back, and I think Bryce is flying in the States too. So we've had models from both the Palmers and from Bryce Gibson given to us, old models that need repairs, and they see our boys as needing the practice models, which is great. It's been a real great help to us having old models passed on to us. and these ones just happen to be quite significant models that have been passed on. So I'm quite happy to have them.
Are you gonna do? Gerald, are you gonna fly combat with your boys, or they're gonna fly combat against each other?
Oh, they're better against each other. I'm too slow. To be honest, I'm too slow. My reactions, I'm better just flying stunt, doing what I always do, and just going through the same pattern. When I'm up against the boys, their reactions are a lot better, and they sort of say, "Why are you so slow, Dad?" And I can't help it. It's just age.
Yeah.
Funny.
Do you
I
have
know what you mean.
Awesome.
do you have to use mufflers over there?
If they're over 3.5 cc's, we're supposed to use a muffler, but it's a hassle really, because the 35s, by the time you muffle them down, they run hot, and it's hard to get a muffler that will work well. But yeah, some of them I set them up.
I thought I saw that on Facebook or something, that you had to use mufflers over there for combat.
He showed some of his planes one night that had them, and it's interesting looking. I don't know how you keep from ripping the darn things off, but
some of the designs work well. They're quite close. I'll show you one. He likes flying this one, and it's got a stacked muffler that's mounted sideways. So you can sort of see how the muffler's mounted.
Right.
Yeah. So you don't rip them off. It's a 25, but when you're using a muffler, you generally need a bigger engine to compensate, and then it means you've got to extend the tail moment to compensate. But yeah, the outlets are here, the side. That works quite well, that setup. It's like a Magnum 25, which is like an FP 25, LA 25. So we've got quite a few with that sort of muffler, especially if it's a noise sensitive site. Some sites, they really want you to use a muffler even on a 15. Other sites you can get away with a 15 or 19 without a muffler. But I try to set up some with tanks.
Are they forcing you to? Yeah, go ahead.
I said, are you using bladders?
My sons like using tanks, but they like using these plastic tanks. The rear feed plastic tanks. They're the ones the boys like using because they're easy to refuel. And others like this. We're using bladders, so it's a mix. Some are bladders, some are mufflers. Okay. If we want to be competitive, then we'll fly it unmuffled on a bladder to be competitive. Right, but if we're practicing at home, then I'll run a hard tank and run a muffler to keep the neighbours happy. So different setups, but that means you've got to set up the model differently with the different CG when you've got the tank on the muffler. But
that's cool. Well, they'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of flying. The boy, Otto in particular, really enjoys flying. He went to the shortest day combat event that we had, and he only flew, but they had a three-round robin setup. So he lost each of his bouts, but he just said, I got to give him so much flying. I was so happy to fly against some really great flyers, and they paired him up with some of our best flyers, and he was really happy, having had some good time behind the handle.
Good.
Yeah. I better shoot off because Max's bus will be arriving soon, and he's not allowed off the bus. If I'm not there, he's not allowed off the bus, even though he's 12. So I better do my bit there.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming in, Gerald.
We'll see you, Gerald.
All right, Gerald. Have a good one.
Yeah. Right. Good night. Bye.
Night.
Bye now.
Night.
Gerald, take care of yourself. Don't be so long. We hadn't seen you in a while. Come on in here.
Yeah. School holidays, I couldn't come in. But at school holidays and when my wife's working from home, I can't swallow up all the bandwidth. So I try to come in when I can. Yeah.
All right.
We enjoy seeing you. You take care of yourself.
Yeah.
See you, Gerald.
Okay. Have a good night.
All Florida is in the house.
Florida is in house.
Yes. Thanks for coming in. Thank you, Jim, for coming in.
Jim.
Not for long, but everybody hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I was in the hospital again.
What for?
This week. It's just, one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. But at any rate, I'm getting better. But I had a tough day today, so work-wise. But if you guys, Phil, if you guys want aircraft spruce beer dope, I have a gallon of it. We're still wrapped up. I don't know what they call it. But when you come to KLI,
I might bring it there. If I don't sell it before, I got some other people.
Okay, I'd like to have it. Yeah, bring it to KOI, and I get. When is KOI exactly?
I think it's the 22nd. Let me. All right. Let's see. Models.
September 22nd? No, that wouldn't be right.
No,
That's Wednesday. Okay, October 22nd. Yeah, that's Friday. Okay.
KOI. Upcoming events. KOI. 2021 KOI. Threatening to open.
My computer threatens me a lot.
Okay. Okay. Well, get back into here.
While you figuring that out, Jim, let me get back to Carl. Get a question about when was the Golden State Stunt Championships, and that is scheduled for October 23rd and 24th here in California. And then prior to that, I mentioned the meet and meet. Actually, it's MEET and MEAT, so it's meet and meet, and that's September 25th to the 26th. And then, of course, the Las Vegas Challenge, that's November 6th and 7th. And for those of you that are out of Nevada or out of the state, you know, you can get a flight into Las Vegas. Let the McBrides know you're coming. They will provide you a plane. I know they told they have planes for people. So don't let not having an airplane, and you should be able to get a good price to fly into Las Vegas. And it should be an easy sell to sell your significant other to come out to Las Vegas, because there's a lot for you guys to do.
Hey, Charles.
Yes.
The contest that was scheduled on the 26th and the 28th of August, is that still on, or is that the one in September?
Well, you know what? They are still finalizing the dates. I spoke to one of the officers of the club recently, and he told me that they haven't finalized the dates because different logistics. But
okay.
When I know, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I still believe it's going to be late August. I'm looking very much forward to it because that's only a couple hour drive.
Right.
And so it'll be a good warm up for me for the Golden State and for the not Northwestern regionals, but for the Las Vegas Challenge. I don't have the date for the Northwestern regional. I saw that date recently, but I didn't print it. I just printed these 3 flyers, and I can email.
No, you really want to go,
huh?
So you know you really want to go up there.
I do. I want to go to, but I want to go to that one for sure with my new plane, Precious Balsa. That is quite a distance to go to not have appearance points. I'm not going to drive that far without getting appearance points.
I hear you.
Yeah. So we'll see. But that's so there's another contest. Forgot the date. The Northwestern Regionals. I don't have that date with me, but I did see it on Concentric Circles. I think that's Jim Armour's website.
It's also on Stunthangar.
And it might be also on flyinglines.org, I imagine, as well.
Absolutely will be on Flying Lines.
And while I'm talking, let me continue and catch up with the chat while Jim's still working on that. I think I left off. Woo, boy, this has been a busy night. I think more people are getting into Stunthangar. Anyways, so okay, so Frederick Zoller, he says, thanks, Al, answered a question I had. Then Frederick Zoller says, on moving the lead outs, ... I don't know what else he's going to say, because you just did ... But typically, Frederick, when you have the plane set up, you find out where the CG is, and then you want to move the lead outs back. I mean, you want to be the center of the two lead outs to be about 3/4 of an inch behind the CG, roughly, for your first flight. That's kind of like a safe, comfortable setup, so you don't have any surprises. So anyways, Jeff Riley says Las Vegas is about 250 miles from LA, where I live. Takes about 9 hours on a Friday evening.
Yeah, it does. You bumper to bumper to Barstow.
I hope that's not the case for when I'm going up there, but most likely be the same. I might go more inland, so I won't go up through LA. But anyways, we'll see what happens. And then John Shukalek, wondering what Al is going to fly at his stunt contest this weekend. Are you still with us, Al?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
So John wants to know, what are you going to be flying at this contest this weekend?
It's either a Vector or a Gieske Nobler, and I'm going to test fly them both. Whichever one flies better Saturday, I'm going to fly Sunday.
Very good. Thank you. And then Minnesota Mike says on Highway 99. And then Minnesota Mike says Madera is 20 miles north of Fresno. And then Minnesota Mike goes on to say, Jeff, I got rid of an engine to fill, and now I'm down to 200 engines. Oh my goodness.
Down to 200. Wow.
Down to 200. You know, I think we all have a sickness here. I have quite a few engines. And then
how many is quite a few?
I don't know. I have 3 drawers of engines. I'll put you that way.
Did anybody see that on Facebook where the guy sold his father's collection for $12,000?
Oh, he got a price for it?
Yeah, 12 grand.
Wow. Well, that's great.
You know, a friend of ours lives in Tucson. I won't mention his name, but he was famous. Every drawer in his house had engines in it, and some really good engines, some rare ones. And he went through, cleared them out, took the money, and bought him a Corvette.
Wow.
If you guys ever saw Larry Scarinzi's collection, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Wow.
There's a video that was taken about 30 or 40 years ago on YouTube, but you should see it now. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's like at the library, you had the boxes for the cards, the card boxes to find the books.
Yeah.
He has that, the old library card.
Oh, yes.
And he has engines in every one. Like it's pulled out. There's like 4 or 5 engines in each drawer.
Right. I remember that.
It's unbelievable.
That brings back memories. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
The old cards. Yes. Hey, I went to John Wright's house, a friend of mine, for the Knights of the Round Circle, and he just showed me his planes. He didn't show me his engine collection, which he said is immense.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I think John Miller, John Wright.
Yeah.
I mean, John Wright has been flying forever. He's in his, I'm not sure how far into his 70s he is, but he's been flying all his life. So he has a lot of engines.
And he still flies very well.
Yes,
he's also one of those guys that likes to take apart from this engine and apart from that engine and cob them all together and get a working stunt engine out of it.
Yes, he's very good.
He had the first, what is that monster with the things on his neck and all? I've forgotten his name. Anyway, the first cobbled McCoy, I think it was a 40. It had the red hat case and crank, but the top, the sleeve, the cylinder and head and piston, of course, were Series 21 testers.
Right.
And put that together, and it worked. It ran great. It had a VSC. It had a muffler on it, and it worked.
Has to be a lightning bolt.
No, it wasn't a lightning bolt. I don't think.
No.
It may have been. I can't remember.
Because
I tell you what, I've got a Series 21 downstairs that I bought off eBay just to put in a McCoy.
You have
One
to
of these
do a
days,
little
I'm gonna do it.
machining on it.
If you
Do what?
You have to do a little machining on it to get the
Oh, I
silver.
figured that.
Yeah.
if you have a McCoy 35 lightning bolt, that comes with the fenced liner. You could put a Series 21 piston and liner in there. The only difference is to use this Series 21 piston, you have to drill out the connecting rod, ream it out a little bit on the top, because the Series 21 piston has a larger wrist pin than the lightning bolt. So you just ream it out, put it in. And I bought a new pistons and rings from Makoa and put it together. I have two fantastic running McCoy 35s, and I have one on a Ringmaster, does an amazing, 4-stroke 4.2 brake, and I have one on a Hornet that I run all out on a bladder, and it's really, yes, and it went 98 miles an hour on a Hornet on 10% nitro. It runs really good.
Don't you?
Sounds like it.
You know that George Aldrich wanted to buy the tooling and go into production on, on his McGass, which, anyway,
I have a McGass 35.
Investors destroyed all the tooling on it. I guess it's a tax advantage or something when they do that. And so it never happened.
My friend did one to a 40, lightning bolt 40. So you get the advantage of the Series 21, which is a brick, and you put that package into the lightning bolt, and you get a nice light motor, and it runs amazing.
It runs great.
Yeah.
And it'll run with a muffler.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
I have a lightning bolt 40 that Tom Lay, I got it from Tom Lay, and it is.
I guarantee you that's a good one.
Yeah, but he has some way of hardening the piston, because it runs with a muffler, no problem. Yeah. But it doesn't have the Series 21 innards in it.
Tom heat treated a lot of the motors. I've got a 51 and 260s, and all three of them have the paperwork with them. And in all three of them, he mentioned that he had hardened the sleeve and the piston, especially the piston.
Right.
But he was a magician with those motors.
The piston's the weak link.
Yeah.
I have a question, you guys. When you guys say Series 21, what are you referring to?
You ever seen a tester? You ever seen a tester's motor? You ever seen a tester's motor? It's everybody calls it a McCoy, but it looks like it's square. Looks like it's machined out of a solid block. Instead of being nice and curvy, it's just a block and got big fins all over it.
Yes.
That's a Series 21.
Okay.
The only thing worth a darn's a sleeve and piston and rod in it. But put that in a
crank.
21. If you can find somebody, well, the crank's good. If you can find somebody with a boring bar that can machine your sleeve out a little bit. I'm trying to find somebody like that now, because I got some. I've got a ST46 that had the thick liner in it, and I got a sleeve and piston from Brian Gardner, and I can't get the darn thing in there because it's got to be machined out about 5,000, or maybe it was 10,000. I can't remember. But I also got to get in touch with Brian. I need to find one of his Hemi heads to go on one of these things, because I thought I was going to run them with no nitro, but Super Tigers don't like running with no nitro.
So Phil, what are you doing to the 21 again? That you're using a 21 case?
Yeah, I'm using a Super Tiger 46 or G21 case, and I'm putting Brian Gardner's 21 sleeve and piston in it. But there were two Series 21s. One of them had a thin liner,
right,
which is the common one, but some of them had a thick liner. Well, a thick liner is the one that's the popular one, but there were some thin liners, and the ones with the thin liners, the case itself is bigger, of course, because the liner was thinner. They're still 46, but they're thinner, and you can't put a thick sleeve in a thin case. It won't fit.
You're talking about Super Tigers?
Yeah, G21.
Oh, G21. Okay.
I got to bore that sucker out a little bit. What happened? A friend of mine was Elmer Huff wanted to build me a custom 41. So he took a Fox 36 and he put a Super Tiger liner in it.
Mhm.
And I have no earthly idea what piston's in it. It's ABC, but I don't know what piston's in it. But he built me a very, very light 40 to go in a Cobra. And the thing, I've never quite got it mastered yet. I haven't run it very much, but I haven't got it running like I want it to run yet. I need to put another head gasket in it, try it again. But Elmer told me this will work, and I'm sure it will, but I haven't played with it very much at all. But I'm going to, because just in Elmer's memory, I'm gonna finish that Cobra and put it in it and go play with it some.
I have a friend that's running the 46 Gardner setup in the, the Super Tiger with the head and all that stuff, and it runs really good. Got in that Thunderbird.
Yeah, they run great. And that's exactly what I want to put it in. But I've got to get one of his heads.
Right.
I gave way too much for a kit on eBay because I just wanted a Thunderbird, and I got it. And now I can't get the darn motors to run right. But anyway, I'll get it. It's one of those projects. It's a work in progress. When I get it, I'll have it. In the meantime, I'm playing with other things. So it'll be all right.
Stalker 51.
Well, I could, but that'd be too easy. You just take a stalker and put it in there and it just works. We got to complicate. You don't know me well enough, John. I complicate everything to the umpteenth.
I used to do that. I used to do that. And then when I got electrocuted, all of a sudden everything became clear.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. Let's just do this the easy way. Keep it simple, stupid. It's what my daddy used to say. And I should have listened to him a long, long time ago. So
Sounds
anyway,
like a wise man.
He was.
He was. Let me finish the chat. So let me see here. So Jeff Riley says, "Holy cow! I thought I had a stash at 22 engines."
Beginner.
Yeah, beginner.
Then Minnesota Mike says 6 Nelson 36s. Minnesota Mike goes, bunch of diesel engines in. Not sure what this emoji means. I don't know what that emoji means. Anyways, and then I don't know what that is. I can't even guess. And then Jeff Riley says, I forgot to ask, does the Clyde, the racer car engines?
Who?
Wait, does that Clyde, the race car engines? It might be an auto spell that might be messing this up. Sometimes when you have the auto spell,
my gosh,
it just messes you up. So, hey, Jeff Riley, when you get a chance, help me with that. And I don't know what that means. I think it's just the auto spell. Then Minnesota Mike says, no, I only have 2 race car engines. And then Mike Rigel says, Minnesota Mike, have you ran any ignition engines on control line? And
missed it.
And Minnesota
Do
Mike
it again.
Minnesota Mike says on free flight, Mike Regal. Then Jeff Riley says, I sold both of my Chevy Rats about a year ago. And then Mike Regal says, that's interesting stuff. Minnesota Mike says, yes, Mike Regal. And then Mike Regal says, Minnesota Mike, you probably have great places to fly free flight. And Minnesota Mike says, Lost Hills. I guess that's a place called Lost Hills. And then Frederick Zoller says, thanks for the getting back to me. And I imagine that's to me, I think. And then Minnesota Mike says, Phil, a brake hone will take 5,000s off. You're muted, Phil.
Yeah, I forgot that it will. And I happen to have one. Thank you, Mike. I wasn't thinking. It certainly will.
We're all caught up, you guys.
That a try.
And I heard Lynn's voice. Thanks for coming in, Lynn.
Hey, guys.
He's back.
Oh, yeah, I'm back. Hey, Charles.
Yeah, my man.
I sent out your engine pads today and your screws, and I sent Mike's out today too.
Oh, thank you very much.
So hopefully they'll get there.
I wasn't expecting the screws too. So you're putting the screw to me too, huh?
Oh, bad.
I couldn't resist.
John Miller,
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and get out in the next week or so and get those plans made up for you, and I will send you the plans and that book that we talked about a few months ago.
oh, thank you
What
very
plan?
much.
You're
What
welcome.
plans are you talking about?
Steve Busso's, why can I not think of it as I'm
Zap?
sitting here right now?
Kestrel? Zap
No,
machine, the Kestrel?
No, it's
Vegas.
another one. Vegas.
Vegas.
That's it. Vegas.
All right, I don't have the Vegas. That was the one that was a
Vegas.
FP40 with a tune with a pipe
That's
on
right.
it. I don't
That's
have that
the
one.
one. Okay.
I don't have that one.
Okay.
Oh Lordy, I want plans to your Spitfire.
Okay. I should be able to draw a set of those up at some point, and then we'll talk.
Sound like a plan.
I'll draw you up a set. The rib pattern is just the Banshee wing.
Oh yeah, I've got the kit downstairs. I loaned somebody my plans.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't have the plans anymore. It's a problem.
Oh, well, if you have the kit, at least you've got the rib templates.
Got the kit. I've got the kit.
So you can just pull out the two rib templates, and when you decide to build a wing, just use the rib templates.
Let me ask y'all one. This is something that it was one of those duh moments for me. I thought a friend of mine had this kit, and he was going to sell it. And I looked at it, and it's a Banshee, and I thought, well, I've always wanted to build a Banshee, but I don't know why I never have. But I'll buy it. And he says, well, I'm gonna knock $20 off the kit because it's missing one of the ribs. Think about that now. It's constant cord.
Yeah.
$20 for a piece
but
of 1/16 this long.
You got one rib that's thinner than the other for the sheeting.
Yeah, the four in the center, but all you got to do is take and slide this down 1/16 of an inch.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's why he was thinking one of the ribs. There's only two.
Well, I ain't too bright, but I can figure out how to do a constant cord rib, guys. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Some guys are from a little further south than you.
Yeah, well.
Way south.
Yeah, way south in the brain power.
Hey, at least he was nice enough to give it to you at a reasonable cost.
He gave it to me at a good price. I said, you sure you want to do this? And he said, yes. So I took it. But
all good.
I tell you, but y'all talking about that driving to Vegas and all from LA. I'm gonna tell you what, from the trip down Saturday morning from here to Atlanta took 5 hours and 18 minutes to Trayan's house. The trip back took 8 hours and 50 minutes, almost 9 hours.
Wow.
They had so many wrecks on the highways. It wasn't even funny.
How many miles?
One of them had 7 cars in it, and they were torn. You couldn't tell what 4 of the cars were. People were just, they opened everything up all of a sudden, and everybody's in such a blasted hurry. They think they're going to miss something. They drive like there's no tomorrow. And for some of them, there may not have been, because 2 of those cars, I mean, they were tore up. But I didn't see any ambulances. So, yeah.
Bill, 20 years ago, that drive from LA to Las Vegas, you get you just get to the eastern side of Barstow and around Baker and that, it starts getting bumper to bumper. Now that's 100 some odd miles, bumper to bumper, to get into Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's usually a Friday night. And then on Sunday evening, it's the same way going the other way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
I've always said people who drive like there's no tomorrow have a pretty good chance.
Yeah, really.
Oh,
that's absolutely true.
Yeah. You drive like there's no tomorrow, you got a pretty good chance there won't be.
I just couldn't figure it out, man. Everybody, it's not the speed that's getting people. They're in 4-lane highways. I mean, 4 lanes in one direction. And they want to go from the high speed lane all the way to the low speed lane and then zigzag around the car and get back. But they forget to look what's on their quarter panel. Yeah, and in most of these accidents, that's what's happened. They come across and somebody hit them in the side.
And why does it happen all the time? Because there's some dumbass driving slowly in a passing lane.
Well, that's true too.
That doesn't help.
I mean, if you're moving, you expect those guys to get out of the way, right?
How do they do it
common
on the
road
Autobahn?
courtesy,
How
right?
do
If
they
you
do it
drive
on
slow,
the Autobahn?
yeah.
On the Autobahn,
Yeah.
they got no sense to know to stay in the right lane if it can't go 120. I've been there one
Exactly.
time. I've been there one
From
time.
now-
We're doing 160 miles an hour in a Porsche, 160 miles an hour. And we got passed by something that went by us so fast, I couldn't tell what the heck it was.
Whoa.
Really? Huh. Well, I don't know
I'll
how
tell
they
you
do
what,
it, but they when they do get a pileup, I heard on the Autobahn, it's something.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
But they don't get that many.
No, they don't
because
get that
they're
many, but when they
disciplined.
do,
I think if they drive slow, they're gonna get in the right lane and it's gonna keep that Autobahn, the fast lane open for the guys
yeah,
that are
if
really
you don't,
moving.
if you,
But it's
if they have signs up,
It's common
Go ahead.
road courtesy, man. You know,
Yeah, but we don't have
use the
that
left
here.
lane to pass. Get your ass back in the right lane after that.
That's right.
I mean,
well,
going the speed
even
limit
that-
and staying in the passing lane doesn't give you a right to be there.
yeah,
Unless
we call that
if you-
camping in the high speed lane, and that's dangerous.
Hey, Phil, I call them NASCAR drivers. The left lane's the slow lane.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, but
I
it's
know what you mean
seriously
there.
when you if somebody
I
has to
really
get from the
appreciate
left
that.
lane to the right lane and back to the left lane, it means there's some idiots, a bunch of idiots just make
Yeah.
you like a roadblock in a road,
Yeah, that's what it is.
or they drive in parallel with other guys, or
I tell you what, though, I coming home and I'm driving 85 miles an hour. Now, I've never more than half dozen times in my life gone 85 miles an hour and sustained it. Now, I go and pass somebody, but I'm not talking about on a racetrack or drag strip or anywhere. I'm talking about on the highways. I have a CDL license, and I need to keep it. So I try to drive, 5 to 7 over, but no more because I can't afford a ticket. It's twice what yours would be. But these people, I'm doing 85 miles an hour. I'm 30 minutes from my house, and I'm thinking, by gosh, I've been detained long enough. I'm going to get home because my kidneys are about had all they can take, my bladder. I'm trying to get home. Somebody went around me. I mean, he was gone. 5 minutes later, I see him over in the side ditch. He done spun out, rode straight as an arrow. He spun out and went into the guardrail backwards.
Oh, it's too bad.
That slowed him down.
I didn't slow down. I went over into the left lane. I didn't slow down. I kept going.
Yeah.
I said, I've seen enough wrecks tonight. I'm going home. We had enough.
Wow.
But I'm telling you, people were stupid. But that was the reason that I was given 3 different places for why they were having, why all the rooms were gone and everything, was because they just opened everything up. South Carolina, Georgia, and even parts of North Carolina, Charlotte had just opened things up. And I mean, people were wanting to get out and travel.
Hey, you guys,
King Orange International. That's
let me
neat.
interrupt you guys because
Go ahead.
Jim, he found the date. I think it was October 23rd, right, Jim?
22nd, 23rd, 24th.
22nd. Yeah, it's October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And
yeah,
I was just trying to share the thing with you.
I saw it briefly. That's why
I got a picture of it. I
It's on
screensaver.
my screen right now.
It's
hey guys, I'm out of here.
Hey, Tran.
All right,
Brian,
Tran,
take
thanks
care of
for
yourself,
coming in,
buddy.
Brian.
Hey,
All right, good
Tran,
night, guys.
one quick question, because I gotta get to bed too. You making any progress on your take apart?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay, cool. And I got those tuck units that I forget the name. It goes with Howard's Bicus unit. They were trying to get together with Tim Westcott to do that board. So I'll find out about that too. So
Okay.
all right, well, good deal, brother.
Hey,
All right,
Jim,
cool.
I have a question
Okay.
for you, Jim. You mentioned
Yeah.
your dope. Is that tautening or non-tautening?
It's I don't know. Let me look.
That might
Tran,
be-
you take care of yourself, buddy. I know you got to get up and go to work in the morning.
He's
Thanks,
gone.
Tryan, for coming in. Appreciate it. And while Jim's away, Mike Rigel, he explained to me that the emoji I saw was for boxes, and I couldn't tell because it looked like it had a T-track in it, so I wasn't sure if that was a box or what it was. And I didn't know, so now I know. Thanks, Mike Rigel. And then Tom Rammel says, you can't stay driving in the left lane on the Autobahn. Yes, that's
No,
what
you get run over.
Ann was saying. And then Tom Ramel continues to
Again,
say,
intermediate.
you will
advanced
get a
section.
ticket for that. And Tom, do you have
Oh yeah.
personal experience? Did I get a ticket for that? I'm just curious.
No, but you ought to see a Porsche 930 twin turbo with a blue light on top of it. That is a strange sight. I'm not kidding you. Police drive whatever has been confiscated. They drive it as a police car. And
Wow.
man, they got some nice stuff. They got some nice cars over there. But they have to. But when they have an accident on the Autobahn, you just kind of sweep it to the side, put it on the back of the truck, carry it away, because nobody got through that usually. When they have one, it's a real mess, but they just don't have them very often. There's people over there got good sense.
Yeah, they're using common sense. If you're slow, get to the right, and if you don't, you're gonna get killed.
Yeah,
it's simple.
If you can't run over 160, you don't get in that left lane.
That's right.
You don't mess with that left lane. You just don't get over there.
Yeah, play smarter, play dead.
Yeah, stay home.
Yeah, play smarter, stay home. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh me.
Well, all the new cars have those little blind spot detectors on them. So
yeah,
if the guy really knows how to use those things, he could zip in and out, just using his blind spot detectors without looking.
Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty cool. I only have those when I rent a car.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm like you. My newest, my wife's car is a 16, but mine's an 02. So
yeah, I got some old vehicles.
Yeah,
I love my old truck. I can't help it.
Hey Howard, what you doing? I see some ribs standing up. What are you doing, Howard? Howard, you're muted, by the way. I guess you probably know that.
Those are baby ringmaster fuselages.
Oh wow.
They're prizes for the baby ringmaster kits are prizes for the meet and meet.
Oh, fantastic.
All right.
So you just laser cut them yourself?
Yeah, I'm cutting baby ringmaster kits.
Oh, that is very cool, Howard.
By the way, great little airplane too.
I've never flown one.
Oh, you got to fly one. You will be shocked how well it flies if it's set up right.
Go to the meet and win one.
I would like to include that. I'm being pretty optimistic with my very limited finances to go to these 3 contests. And when I saw that one, I was thinking about that too, but we'll see. I've never been up there to Woodland.
Can you hurl a fox?
You know what? I'm wondering if I can. I mean, I'm sure I can, but I probably hurt my shoulder. I'd probably throw it so hard, I'd probably throw my shoulder out.
Then you wouldn't be able to fly your airplane, or you'd have to fly a baby ringmaster.
Yeah, throwing is not my. I'm really strong, but I don't throw things very often. So it's kind of disappointing when you see a guy as strong as me throw it right at the ground.
Yeah, well, you better warm up and get some practice.
Go to a new category. Go to a new category, Charles. Throw
What?
3 at a time. Throw 3 at a time. New category.
Oh, throw 3. Yeah, that would help me. Throwing 3 of them as opposed to throwing 1. You're right.
Which one counts though? The one that goes the furthest?
I have to go for the average then.
Yeah. It's for distance.
Hey, Charles.
Yes.
I knew it was time to quit playing softball when one of the guys says, "You're throwing like a girl. What's wrong?" I said, "I think I threw my shoulder out." So I went to the doctor. He says, your softball career is over.
Okay.
He says, "I remember when you played baseball, but your softball career is over. Forget baseball." He wasn't kidding. My shoulders just wore out.
Yeah, when it's over, it's over. I used to throw a lot of hand launch gliders. You know what? I don't do it anymore. It aggravates it too much. Why do it?
At some point you just realize I'm not 16 anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were kids, we would throw baseballs and stuff until our arms hurt so bad we couldn't lift them high enough to use a fork. But you know what?
Yeah.
You don't want to try that when you get to be our age, or you'll be under the knife.
In a heap of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to throw a Fox 15.
I wouldn't be throwing it as hard as I could anymore. To heck with that idea. That's kid stuff. I don't want to play that game.
Especially when
It's like
the cheater foxes where they put the lead in the crankshaft.
You know, it's like arm wrestling. You know, when you're a kid, arm wrestling's great. You have a lot of fun with it. But when you get to be past about 35, you do that, and oh boy, you're going to pay for it.
You're going to hurt tomorrow.
You betcha. If not for a lot longer time.
Isn't that where you use a rubber band and a stick to launch it?
Yeah, that's what I do now. Catapult. Catapult works a lot better on hand launch gliders now than throwing them, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you find out, Jim? I see you got something in your hand there.
Yeah, hang on a minute. I'm trying to adjust some lighting here. Maybe I can get a little better light. I don't think that's going to be better.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't think that's better.
It should say on it. In fact, it'll say on the tag on top whether it's taunting or non-taunting.
It says that LOCH2CC, we got a part number, certified butyrate dope gallon or dope clear gallon. It doesn't say anything about it, but hang on a minute.
I think you got a gallon of ultra clear there. That's hard to get. Yeah, I believe you got ultra clear. Okay, gloss clear. It does not say batch file name reactive.
I'd have to go to their website, and look it back up.
Yeah, I can't remember. Well, either way, yeah. If you get it to the, if I see it KOI, I'll take that.
Okay. Well, I'll bring it if I just come up there.
Yeah, I just bought a gallon yesterday, but Saturday, but I bought non-taunting and regular clear, and that right there appears to be the ultra clear, and that stuff's hard to get right now.
Yeah, I think it was ultra clear. Let's see here.
The difference, if any of you don't know, if you put on 4 coats of clear and you put it on any kind of thick and you really look at it, it's got a little bit of a yellow haze to it. It's not really clear. It's got a little bit of a yellow haze to it.
Yeah.
That right there, you put 6 coats on and it's still like looking through water. It's just clear.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's what you want.
Hey, what's the guy's name does all the electronic stuff? He sent me an email.
Tom Rammel.
Tom Rammel, that's right. Howard, do you know if Tom Rammel got a hold of you about those TUT units?
Tom's in the chat right now, Jim. You can ask Tom.
Well, Howard was here. Maybe he's back working on Baby Ringmasters or something.
His mic is muted.
Okay. It's like Gary's snoozing.
Gary's doing his usual thing.
Oh, there's Howard.
Having a little rest. I can't talk. I've done it too many times.
Me too.
Hey, Howard, unmute yourself.
Yeah, Howard, unmute yourself.
Let me send him a chat.
I thought you were going to say send him a check.
No, Tim Westcott is an engineer, electronics engineer, and so is Tom Rammel. Howard makes a unit called a Bicus. It's some weird ass name, but it's for your crew and stuff. It has two lights on the side of your fuselage, and what it does is it's going to tell you, you know, it's kind of like a Fear Ready where you get the blinking, except Howard's is made with Tim Westcott's extra board. And that board does all kind of stuff. Howard told me that when you come around, you're ready to quit, you just do a loop. You program a certain length of time. And when you hit that window of time, you can do a single loop at any time you want. And the airplane will shut off at the bottom of the loop. So it does all kind of stuff. So anyway, I was going to try to get a hold of Tom or, Tom Rammel or Howard to see how they're doing. I found out about Trey and take apart stuff. So anyway, maybe you guys can ask them when you see one of them if they made contact together about the TUT unit for Howard's Vicus. And Tom Rammel, Tim Westcott said he would make it open source for Tom, and that way Tom could just duplicate it. And, you know, he's done lots of surface mounting, Mr. Rammel has. So at any rate, if they get it together, then I can use Igor's system with a Vicus and a TUT. So it's a pretty good deal. It looks like a pretty nice deal. And I'm sure I have to buy Howard some more mush, or I also learned he likes tamales. So I told him I'd pay for him and his wife to go out to a nice restaurant where they live. No, we'd just have mush.
I just saw Howard. There's Howard. Maybe Howard, will you answer Jim's question, please?
Let me find it.
What was the question?
Tom Rammel is working on the TUT unit, Howard. I got him in touch with Tim Westcott. And let me make sure you see me. Okay.
I can see you.
Okay.
Your big screen.
Okay. So Tom Rammel does he's an electrical engineer, and he does lots of surface mount stuff. And Tim is making his software open source for Tom, so that Tom can make more TUT units to go with the 2 worthless ones you mailed me.
Ooh,
So,
blue hiss.
To go with
well,
what?
the Vicus unit is okay, but it doesn't do anything like a TUT. The TUT does. I was explaining to him the TUT.
The Vicus is the supplement to the TUT. Use the two together. By itself, the Vicus just tells you whether your battery is charged, which is useful. But with the TUT, you can do a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, Tom, Charles said he was in the shower, but Tim was going to make that software open source for Tom, and Tom was
lost you there.
Tim was gonna make the software open source, give it to Tom Rammel, and Tom was gonna put some of these TUT units together. And so after my quest
I'll take one.
What's that?
I'll take one.
I don't know. I didn't catch that, Howard.
I'll take one.
Yeah, I bet you will.
Yeah.
I went on quite a quest for Howard into Dallas, Texas, looking for something that was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Howard had left a little black box at toolbox at the team trials, and he thought he might have ended up at a pawn shop, and had two tight units. One of Howard's fancy handles. It was funny as heck. But I finally, after going around the guys, I got Doug Moon to run by the pawn shop. And he said he looked around, he couldn't find anything.
All right.
So those are long gone, Howard.
That's too bad.
Yeah, those tight units are gone. It ain't your toolbox ain't there after 4 years.
Okay, so you're gonna make tuts. Tom's gonna make tuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I was gonna find out from Tom if Tim
There's a
has
kitty.
What?
I see your kitty.
You do?
Yeah, I see it too.
Yeah.
I don't have enough openings there.
Yeah, we see it. It's in the background.
Oh yeah, he's getting in trouble somewhere.
Yeah, you betcha. Getting in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I got a little wedge for elevating my feet, but anyway, hopefully that's all going to come together, and we have Bicus and tut units, because it's, from what Howard described to me, they're really good. So does anybody know how to show everybody's window? I know I've had more before. I can't see me and Howard.
Or go to the view setting up in the upper right corner.
In the upper right
There's
corner.
gallery, and you want the gallery instead of speakers.
Gallery is what he wants.
Yeah,
Gallery is what he wants. It'll show everybody.
Hey, Steve, thanks for coming in.
Hey, man.
Did you get that, Jim?
Yeah.
See the
I
gallery?
got it. I ain't got it working, but I got it.
When you get those boards figured out,
Because
let
I
the
don't
rest
see
of us
nothing.
know.
Oh, there's Zoom view.
Jim, when you get those boards working, let us know. I'd like to get one or two of those myself.
Yeah, those would be about 15 times as much for you.
Do a kill loop.
I'll remember to do something nice for you too, Bubba.
Hey, don't forget, we're looking for the bed and breakfast in McAlpin for KOI. So, and it just depends who goes, but it was a pretty big place.
Yeah, I'd like to get in on that one too.
Yeah, the tut unit's nice, and so hopefully we'll get all that together. So when Tom Rami, well, what is it?
Rammel.
I know he's in here. Let me look up Rammel.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not commenting, because he was active a second ago, but
What he wears his watch in the shower?
no, I didn't say shower earlier. Did I say shower? I meant chat.
Oh.
Did I say shower earlier, or did I say chat?
He said he was in the shower.
Damn, Charles. Get all personal there.
I said
I was hoping he turned his camera off.
Sometime you said he was in the shower.
I never said that. You know what? See, now I'm going to watch a replay of this just to make sure.
At one point you said he was in the shower, and I couldn't quite figure out what you meant.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Because I thought, why is he saying that Tom Randall's in the shower? I couldn't figure it out.
Well, he's
okay,
sitting
we'll let
somewhere.
That one go by. What's that?
He's sitting somewhere, and he's got a picture behind him of his hobby room. So he's not where he looks like he is, but I ain't going to ask where he really is. I don't think he's in the shower, though.
Well, if he comes in and his hair is wet, then you know I was right.
Maybe he's trying out his new waterproof phone.
Yes, waterproof watch.
Watch.
Oh, Lord.
You don't take your phone under the shower, Steve, but a watch you might leave on.
Oh my God.
Might be able
Some
to.
of them are claimed to be waterproof as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, I dropped my phone in the bathroom 2 days ago, and I'm not going to tell you where it bounced to, but it is waterproof. The Apple phone is waterproof.
Is dropping the phone similar to the old dropping the soap?
I guess it wasn't in the shower, but at least it was clean water.
No shit.
Yeah, no shit.
The only two reasons why you would talk on the phone while the water's running.
Oh, well. We're not going to go any further with this one.
Time to let that sleeping dogs lay.
At any rate, we're trying to get the tub together. I was telling Howard that I offered to buy you and your wife a nice dinner. Charles, when you go under Zoom view, is it close manage participants, close chat?
Hang on a second, Jim. I got this clown in the chat just doing saying some awful stuff.
Uh-oh.
Must be Tom in a clown suit in the shower.
Oh boy, you got a spammer.
Yeah.
What really pisses me off the other night, I couldn't get on, trying everything I could try to get on there. And you got these kids that can get by all the damn blocks and everything else without a problem.
Yeah.
So how's the back, Steve? You feeling better?
Yeah, it's a little better. I figured I'd get on later tonight. I can hang out a little while longer.
There you go.
Friday it was so bad I just couldn't take.
You were done. Anymore. Yeah, you were a dunner.
You got your work cut out for you, Charles.
I know. I'm busy. I wish I had another what do you call them, moderators to help me, but it's okay. I'll take care of this guy.
Man, he's switching like crazy.
He's getting reported.
At least on Mac, I can go. I don't go to view. I go to meeting, and in meeting, it will Zoom view meeting. I put it in gallery view, but now I seem to. I'm still in gallery view, but at any rate.
Oh my God.
Yeah, then you gotta go between the 2-2 and 1-2 to go back to get everybody.
What?
Okay.
Are you wearing a clown suit, Steve?
No.
We don't want to see you in a tutu. No way.
What the hell are you talking about, man?
In your gallery view, when you're in gallery, on the edge,
get back in gallery.
On the right and left side of the screen,
okay.
I got up 1-2 now. If you click on that, it'll go to 2-2, and then it'll bring in other people that you can't see in 1-2.
Okay. It says.
Because you can't see everybody at one time. It only does 9 on a screen.
Okay. So let's pop out. And let's find Howard Rush.
If you click, now if you put your little cursor on Howard Rush, a little blue box will come up in the corner and you can pin him. And that'll make him big. And then you should be able to see yourself on the left-hand side of the screen. You can scroll through there and see yourself and Howard as being big.
Which one's wearing the tutu?
Oh
I don't think I want to see either one of those guys in a tutu.
I got a pair if you want to see them.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
But
you're
it's
a
not a
moron.
tutu.
I would not have said that, Steve.
I should have been surprised.
I
but
ain't
I'm not.
afraid to show them.
I'm gonna stay quiet. This is going bad.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Oh. You know, Steve can
Okay.
get away with that because he can say, I got a daughter and it's hers. But then when he tries them on, then he's got no excuse.
So when I see a list of 10 participants, and at the bottom I have an invite, a mute me, and a merge to meeting window. So I can click the merge to meeting window.
I don't know.
Okay, well, if it kicks me out and I don't come back, you guys have a nice night.
Go up to the upper right, you'll see view.
Yeah.
Upper right is like a,
I'm on a Mac.
oh, you're on a Mac.
Oh, yeah, that makes a difference.
I do see view gallery.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the gallery.
Okay, then you should see everybody.
In gallery view, you should see about 9 small boxes or 9 or 12 small boxes.
See 10 right now.
Now, it's showing Howard's got his camera on.
You got 10.
Yeah, well,
Howard has his mic off.
he has his mic off, but supposedly I don't see Howard.
Really?
Yeah, well, Howard's
probably working
not
over
in
the
view.
top.
You see his shot, but he's not in view.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
I got a message from Tom. He says, I was out of town all weekend, so I may have missed Tim or his communication.
Okay, well, I'll send it to him again if he needs it. But he's going to be working on the tut units. So anyhow, that's about it, other than my exciting adventure at the hospital. Well, I'm down to.
I think Tom's coming in. Here's Tom, Jim.
Hey,
Rabbit.
Tom, how you doing?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for coming in.
Glad you're out of the shower.
Yeah, me too.
Especially got out of that clown suit. While you were wearing your watch. Hey, Howard was on here. I talked to Tim Westcott, and he's going to give you his software as open source. And I think I already sent you his email and his phone number.
Yeah.
Tom.
So I was out of town all weekend, and I see now, I just checked email, and he did send me an email over the weekend, but I haven't called him yet. I'll call him tomorrow.
No problem. I was just telling Howard, after our little adventure to Dallas, Texas, along with Doug Moon, to visit some pawn shop looking for his tut units, since he's the only person known to man who has any, that you're going to do that for us, Tom, that you're going to see what it looks like and see if we can start making some tut units. Howard is the complimentary one. He does the Bicus board. But so just let me know if you don't hear from him, and I'll follow up with him, Tom.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Like I said, I got an email, and I'll follow up with. I'll give him a call tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He would love to keep the tut going, and that's why he said he'd make it open source, and if somebody just pick up.
Who made the board before? Was there a board or? Yeah.
Yeah, Howard could tell you more than me.
You want to see it? Sure.
Certainly.
Since he's the only person known to man who has one.
Huh?
Hey, I was going to say, Tom, next time you go out of town for the weekend, make sure you have a shower. You don't have to do that when you get home.
Oh, brother. I don't know where the shower stuff came from.
You had to be there. You had to be there, Tom.
You had to be there. Ask Charles.
Kind of like dropping the soap.
I did respond in the chat, but I think that's the same time there were a bunch of spams coming through.
That's right. Bunch of spam.
Yeah.
Well, I had my hands full for a little bit, so I was multitasking big time.
Did you see my response in the chat?
I didn't.
It was in the YouTube chat.
Which
Charles
one?
probably can see it.
When you said you was out of town, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that too, Jim.
Oh, okay.
Holy smoke.
I'm just glad it wasn't you saying the other stuff, Tom.
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, come on. These guys were just, I was just looking at at what Charles was talking about.
Yeah.
Some of these guys need to grow up.
I reported it on my end too.
Thank you. Yeah,
Some
I
of these
reported.
guys need to grow up.
Well, I hope Howard didn't lose his touch. He's been gone a long time. If it's just a little 3/4 inch or square or 1 inch square, something like that.
So
But anyway, he
was
would
that
tell
a
you
surface? Is it a surface mount board? The one that?
Yeah, that's my understanding. I've never seen one. I just reported that there was one 4 years ago at the team trials that Doug Moon and I went on a quest to find it that belonged to Howard.
So
To no avail.
I understand there's a timer plus 2 other boards.
Yeah, you've got the Igor system. The bike it just tells you if your battery's charged or not, and it gives a little warning of some kind. It doesn't even tell you, it's not like it reads voltage or anything.
So Howard designed the Bicus?
Yeah, it has two little LED lights. If one light's on, that means it's fully charged, ready to go for a flight. If that other light, I think if that light's out and the other light's on, it's in some state of discharge, and you probably really should think twice about flying a full pattern on this battery. Then Igor's system has his active timer, which has a accelerometer, which goes at the bottom of the plane. And he uses a Jetty Spin 66. It's an older one they used to tear up helicopters with. That's why we use it. It's very fast. And that ESC, you can only buy them from Igor over in Slovakia. And once you get it, then it has a wire cable that runs out to this accelerometer. Otherwise, it's it's a standard ESC, but then it's got on this wire, I guess it's only about yay big or something like that. At the end of the wire where it plugs into the accelerometer, it's a little fat thing, and it's a timer. And you can buy a Jetty box, which is how you set all your parameters and things like that with it. And then the TUT, I'm not exactly sure all the TUT does. If it oversees some of Igor's stuff or not. Once again, I think Howard has misplaced his TUT. But at any rate,
did Tim design the TUT?
Yeah, Tim's an electrical engineer, just like you.
So why do you need me? If Tim designed it, why does he need me?
Because Tim took on a job that don't allow him time to go to the bathroom and take a shower.
Okay.
And then what?
But doesn't he
No,
have?
we won't go there.
Doesn't he have the original? Doesn't he have the original artwork and stuff for the board?
Oh yeah, he's got all that, but he didn't have anybody to make it. And he's willing to make it open source, whether you want to make them and sell them through me, or you want to sell them and just give me some.
There it is.
Howard.
The famous
tut.
tut.
Hey, what it is, Tom, is that once you're done with your design, you can call it King Tut.
That's it.
Yeah. The king
And,
tut.
I make mounts for them. I print mounts for them. It's there's a.
Tell us a little bit about what it does, Howard.
There's a 3-axis gyro on there. It has a slow takeoff mode that it transitions and turns the control over. It turns the control over to Igor's timer, but it has a backup mode in case you forget to hook up Igor's timer. It'll give you a constant speed for the pattern. Then the AMA mode, it's got an AMA mode and an FAI mode. In the AMA mode,
oh Lord,
after I think 5 minutes 53 seconds, a light comes on if you have a bycast unit. And
I got some bycast.
Yeah, a light comes on and tells you that the loop kill is armed. So then you can do a loop kill, and it gives you a burst of speed so you can land in the right place. Now, in the FAI mode, where a loop kill is probably not legal, at least a pilot actuated loop kill like a TUT does, it flashes a light every 5.2 seconds. So you can get the airplane in position. It does this 7 times, I think. So you get the airplane in position for the burst of speed that comes before the FAI landing.
So it's a little like the Fiorati.
Well, I don't know what the
degree.
Fiorati does, but this.
Well, it has a light that goes faster as you get. There's a lighting indication that you're about to land. Now the TUT, it has a parameter, like how I was saying, after 5 minutes and 58, and that's programmable, I think.
Yeah, it's all programmable. That's the U in Universal. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
U and TUT is for Universal.
I'm in the landing parameters, and then you could come around and you say, okay, I want to be upwind or whatever, and you position yourself, and then start a loop, and then
yeah, in the AMA mode.
Yeah, and it kills it at the bottom of the loop, right, Howard?
It kills it after a programmed number of degrees. I got 340 in there now.
Okay. Well, that's pretty close to.
So Howard, did you work with Tim on this design?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I gave him the requirements.
And where is Tim located?
Portland.
What state? What?
Oregon.
What state? Oregon? Okay.
Oregon.
And can you show me the board again, the TUT board? Both the front and the back side.
Takes a good picture for him, Howard. Okay. Send it to him. You got his
email? You want to get
email?
boards made?
Do you have a good place?
Osh Park. OSHPARK. It's like 3 boards for $10. They're wonderful.
All right.
Yeah, and while you're at it, Tom, have Howard show you his old Windows 7 AMA qualifying round thing. Maybe you're a database programmer. I owe Howard big time for that one. But at any rate, what else does it do, Howard?
What else does what do?
The TUT. It's got to do more than just do a loop kill.
Upon landing, it says you are the greatest.
Well, I told you, but you weren't listening.
Oh, well, that's common lately. What did you say?
It's in the instructions for the TUT.
Oh, and you mailed those to
Well,
me?
I told you about the AMA mode and the FAI mode and the takeoff mode and the reversion mode.
Okay, I remember about the slow takeoff. Is it just a slow wind up is all it is?
No, it's a constant speed. So you don't have to guess when to take off.
It just goes to constant speed and off you go.
You get to pick the speed.
Oh, you get to pick the speed.
Yeah.
But be careful if you pick one too low and it's windy.
Yeah. That's.
I like those myself. That they'll get everything
Oh, lost you there.
My helper. Yeah. He can just walk away and the plane will start up and it'll just do a nice slow beginning, just like a real airplane, and then just keep accelerating all the way through. Where yours goes up to a selected point and maintains that until you actually get your wheels up off the ground, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, it's different every takeoff.
Yeah. Right.
If you're taking, yeah, and many people do this because that's all they have is they ramp up in power. So they take off and get a different power every time, but it's close enough. They do pretty good takeoff. But I think it's better to have a constant speed.
I've flown a lot of RC, so I can do full power or I can do partial. But I like the 3D foamies. Actually, you can just come in and take off. And I had this film covered foamy job, and it was just unbelievable.
Yeah, these are for stunt. You can use a foam stunt plane with it. It'll work with a foam stunt plane.
Yeah, it probably would. Except I don't know, that's a lot of crap to be hanging on there.
Well,
they measure them by grams, grams, Howard.
Yeah.
So at any rate, all right, well, cool. So Trey's making some progress on his take apart system, and Tom, you're going to make some progress on the Tut, and I still have to find my Yashenko stuff.
What I don't understand is if this was already designed, why can't more of them be made just with the current design?
I think because Tim's got a real job now and he doesn't have time to assemble them.
Oh, okay. But he has all the files. He has all the files for the boards. So
yeah, he's gonna make them open source for you.
Okay. Well, open source is usually for software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see what you get.
Well, I guess can't you have open source for hardware? You design what you need it to do. That's kind of software.
But I think he wants to maintain some control of what his intellectual property.
That's not what he told me. He told me that he would do it as open source because he can't see himself ever making these anymore. That's why Howard kept telling me you'll never find them anywhere.
I'll try and get a hold of him tomorrow, but if he's working a lot, I may have trouble getting a hold of him.
It took a day or whatever, but
he came to contest Sunday.
Okay.
Did he?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I think it was this weekend that he probably tried to contact me, but I was gone. He left an email message.
Yeah, we know you were in the shower.
Oh,
with your watch.
Hey, you guys, let me
all weekend long
because this show has been going a little bit longer than I normally let it go. Normally we end here at 9 o'clock our time. It's 9:23. So let me just transition to the after party. And just in review, we've had as many as looks like 27 viewers, and we have 26 likes. That's pretty good. And we had a lot of activity on the chat box. A lot of good questions. And then we had some bad activity on the chat box, but overall, it's a good night. I'm really, I think we're probably getting over the remembering the passwords, because we had a really lull in our attendance last Monday, I think it was, because I think people couldn't remember their passwords. So we had a pretty good crowd. I'm not sure how many we had, but it's been a good show. And we're not going to stop. We're just going to end all I'm going to do is just push a button and end the stream. We're going to continue on. And like I said, a lot of times the after party is even better than the live stream. So come back. Today's Monday. Come back Friday. Hopefully between now and then you have a chance to do something model aviation wise, and come back and tell us all about it. We'll be back here Friday, and come on back, and we will see you then. So bid you well, good night, and take care. I'll see you. I'm going to end the stream